Welcome, everybody, to episode number 96 of the Dragon's Den podcast. We are live and here on the air. My name is Eric Hopkins, a.k.a. Joe. We're joined tonight by Spooby the Great on the top right, got Matthew 24 on the bottom left, and, of course, we've got Aroni Guardsman, our blacksmith extraordinaire, down there on the bottom right.
Aaron to join us.
Yeah, what's up, guys? So,
what's up, Aaron?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, not much going on here. Aaron will get to us when he can there, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, definitely glad to have him on the show here. Like I said, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We got some movies, pro wrestling, a little sports, and some gaming to wrap up the show tonight. We're still kind of taking a break from our news and politics segment for the time being. That's perfectly all right. So we'll look forward to maybe get back to that one of these days, but we'll see what happens there. But we still got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So how's you guys' week's been? I know it's been a long week for me in particular. I'm kind of glad the week's over. I don't know. I ended up with a bad foot to start the week. I missed a couple days work. Then a crown popped out. I had to go to an emergency dental appointment to get that thing put back on. So that was fun. So other than that, not too bad. So I just
dental appointment. What I have been.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's what happens. Well, I had a crown put in like a decade ago, and I'm guessing this, the adhesive just eventually wore off. So I was like, well, got to get that. So at least I still had it. It was still intact, so I didn't have to pay for a new crown, which is like $1,000+. But yeah, just the emergency appointment alone, just to kind of, because our work schedule is not friendly to appointments early in the morning for sure. So had to go one night after work, and $160 later, got it back on. But other than that,
night, you wait, time out. You left work and had and then went to a dentist appointment.
Yeah, like I said, it was an emergency clinic. They're open later.
Oh, okay.
Because my original dentist I was going to go to, but I'd have to go early in the morning before work, but they couldn't see me for a month.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, I'm not going to sit here with a crown missing on an exposed tooth for a month. Yeah. So I had no choice. Oh yeah, that was fun. But anyway, that's kind of what my week's been. How about y'all? Y'all's doing any better than mine? Because mine's better now. Rough start.
Mine was not that fucking bad. I mean, all things considered, anyway. I got certain things going on, but that's more or less behind the scenes and shit I can take care of when I can take care of it. Like, it's more house shit, and there's the fact that I'm running a fucking farm on my yard, and
you're gonna go yet?
Dude, when I tell you, and I get it, like I said, I know where I live. I'm aware, right? You know what I mean? Like, I get that. But even, I'll do you one better. Back in Ohio where we lived, we stayed in front of a game preserve, right? Where, I mean, obviously wild animals, and they're protected back there for various reasons. We had a makeshift pond in our yard too, right? There were snapping turtles, obviously frogs. We had a raccoon one time that was asleep in a tree that Petey was trying to fight. It was craziness. And I had a bat get in my house once, but I didn't have the amount of wildlife living directly in my yard. Like, I had a crane that would come every once in a while and fuck with the fish in the pond until the snapping turtle get it. And I'm pretty sure it stopped showing up after that. But here I have these, dude, I have never despised a fucking animal more in my life than I do with these groundhogs, because all they're doing is fucking my yard up.
Yeah.
And it's like they're mocking me because Loki has tired himself out from chasing these fucking things.
Poor pup.
And I'm just getting to this point where I don't want to do, I'm just gonna have to put these things down. And now, did I tell you about the skunk situation?
You mentioned it, I think, last week. Yeah.
So what we thought was one skunk, no,
Oh,
it
no,
isn't.
not that. Oh,
It
really?
isn't. It was all white, and it
Uh-huh.
has 2 to 3 babies with
Oh
it as
no.
well.
So you got a bunch of little stinkers.
And there's more than one turkey. There's a
Don't
bigger,
call
which
skunks
I'm guessing is the
stinkers again.
male, I
Mhm.
think, of turkey. And then
Uh-huh.
there's 3 female turkeys with him. And they all just fucking congregate in my yard. Like
I mean,
it's
you got a big yard, but even I'm sitting there thinking, man, where are all these things hanging out at? Because it's like just doing it
like
together.
the back and down the hill. And again, I have woods too, like on
Yeah,
both,
yeah.
like, so it's like, I get it. Again, but I think it's the lack of fucking predators that we have around here. And like, I think bobcats, I believe, is it, but like, that's it. There's occasional coyote, but that's in passing. And I know for a fact there's foxes because I've seen one of those.
So you're
But, like-
literally running an animal sanctuary right now. Literally. You need to train your dogs up to be a little more aggressive, I guess.
It's driving me crazy.
Well, yeah, I remember you saying something about the albino skunk, but not the fact that it had some babies.
Oh,
too.
yeah, it has some babies.
Oh man, golly,
It is insane. Other
Well,
than
just
that, like,
take out a
getting my
couple of your
garage
guns
cleaned up.
and shoot your guns
I know.
out in the air a couple
That's
times.
what
That'll scare some butt off. You know?
That's what I said. I was like, I'm just gonna have to go outside and start dumping on shit.
Gosh, I feel for you, dude. That sucks. It really does.
It sucks, man.
But yeah, I hear you. We got Mike in the chat, our loyal listener. He said, "Evening, gentlemen. Nice to see Eric and Brandon finish whatever they were doing in our private chat. Damn weirdos." Yeah, I messaged Brandon. I don't even know if he saw it, but I asked if he was coming to the show because it was almost a couple minutes before the show started, and I didn't know where he was.
I'm glad that Mike jumped in. I have a question for Mike.
Okay. Well, what's that?
Okay. Has there ever been an Amish wrestler?
Yeah, his name was Roadkill back in ECW. He wasn't really
Roadkill,
Amish.
and he was Amish.
He wasn't really Amish, I don't think.
Now I gotta pull
But that
this
was
up.
the persona. His name was Roadkill.
Okay.
I just don't remember him being Amish. So I gotta see this. Huh. I mean, okay. Well, kind of. Well, hold on. If I got the right photo here. He kind of looks. Yeah.
Bald-headed big dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You got big old sideburns too. Let's pull this up here. This best I can pull up here, but here he is on the right. Big old boy. I guess here's some more like an Amish photo there. So you're kind of curious.
I had to know.
When I first saw like on the page before, he kind of looked a little bit like Bray Wyatt at first, just from the chin down a little bit, you know. So I was like, huh, I did not know that. Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Like in ECW.
EC Dub.
EC Dub.
Well,
Yeah. The Amish warrior, the angry Amish warrior roadkill is what Mike said there, talking about that. So yeah, crazy stuff right there. He also said his little one Avery is with him, and sad that there's no Miranda tonight. She said she needs a nickname like Elektra. She likes Chocolate Thunder too. Yeah, I'm sure Miranda will be back sooner rather than later. So we look forward to seeing Miranda back here soon. But we also got he said glad I left the skunks back in Bloomfield when I left in 2002. Still see some here, but not as bad. Well, that's always a good thing because. Yeah, I mean that's the most unattractive smell in the world. I tell you what, right there.
And it's a smell, the moment too. Like there's no mistaking it for anything else.
I mean, it's just crazy to be like, if just someone hits it like a mile down the road, you could smell it. Even like you don't even know where it's at. It's terrible. Then he said he and Danny Doring were the final ECW tag champions. The Amish Warrior.
Really.
Speaking of Doring, was there a guy?
ECW, that's crazy.
Was there a guy from TNA named Joe Doring? I think passed away. I think he had.
I think so. I think
he was only like 44.
Are we in the wrestling segment officially?
Well, about to be. You can talk about.
Are we going to talk about Joe Henry?
We'll mention him in passing.
All right.
Yeah, I guess here's the guy. I guess.
I believe Joe Henry.
But Joe Doering, I guess that's how you say it. I guess he was a member of the TNA roster. I know all the wrestling promotions were mourning his passing today. I guess he was 44 years old. I think from what I read on Wikipedia, if you take it for what it's worth, because it's Wikipedia, but I think he had like this would made his third brain tumor. So and I guess this one obviously it didn't pan out. So obviously condolences to the friends and family of Joe. I didn't know of this wrestler, so he's kind of new to me. So I don't know a whole lot about him, but either way,
I don't either. But yeah,
so
that's still sad.
Still sad, no doubt about it. But yeah, looks like okay, we're good. But anyway, I had a little notification there on the side there. But yeah, so we got some pro wrestling. You want to just jump right into some of these topics and get the show rolling?
Yeah,
The one.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What man?
What man?
Matt's getting beaten.
Yankees got beaten by 6-1.
It's not sports section yet. You can't complain about the Yankees just yet. That's later on.
Hold on, let me pull out my podcast friendly Jimmy John's.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have supper during the show like always.
Product placement.
Yeah, hey Jimmy John's, pay us a little bit of a advertisement there.
Real quick, I don't think I've had Jimmy John's since
work catered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only problem with that is I always like don't care for Jimmy John's because of work. It's nothing against Jimmy John's himself. What happens is our company will sometimes cater to us like if we have to work overtime or something. So the time that they cater to us, I think the sandwiches sat out for like a couple hours before we had a chance to go eat them. So by the time we got to them, they were kind of soggy and so nothing against Jimmy John's. I'm sure they're
just
great.
Like the basic sandwiches too. So like I wouldn't mind. Like I feel like if I would have went there and ordered something like I'd actually want, then it's a deal different or whatever.
I was trying to get you endorsed, and you just took it like a little kid that didn't get the toy that they wanted out of the Happy Meal, and he crumbled it up like a little ball and threw it behind him.
Wow. I mean, I'm welcome to the sponsorship or the endorsement.
So much for ever getting endorsed.
I'm completely fine with doing live reads or whatever everybody wants to
buy their soggy sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, I see how those other YouTube channels do it. I always hate it though. Like I click on a 13-14 minute like clip of a podcast or something, and they've inserted like because I can pay YouTube to where I don't have to have ads. So that's why I buy the YouTube Premium. But like then these videos get clever. They put the live reads in the middle of their video, so you literally can't skip over them unless you fast forward. It's like you little devils. I see what you're doing. But hey, if I had to start doing that to make money for the channel, I'm fine with it. But I just don't see it happening anytime soon. But that's okay. So yeah, what else we got here? We got Mike in the chat again. He said we've had McAllister's catered to us, cheap asses. I've only ate at McAllister's like once, and
I don't think I've ever ate at McAllister's.
It's okay. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I've had better sandwiches at Subway though, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I mean, but I can say the same about Jimmy John's. But again, I think if I had Jimmy John's fresh, it'd probably be a different story.
And it's something you actually wanted. Like if you went to Jimmy John's and got a sandwich that it was like, and you put whatever you want on the sandwich, whatever, that's a little different. Other than like
just cheese and lettuce. Yeah, that's all we got at work. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Matt left us. He'll be back. He was having some issues with his audio on his phone too. But oh, he said Mike said Matt was frozen with a dumbass smile. That's why he left. There he comes. Yeah, I figured he'd be back here in a second. I don't know what it is with Matt and his cell phone, but
some of those freeze frames though.
It's the audio.
Oh, the audio. Yeah, he says sometimes he goes in and out because it fixes his audio issues. But I told him, I was like, I think it's his hardware because none of us have any problems with our audio week to week. It's just the cell phone for whatever reason, it's not remembering his settings or something. But one of these days he'll get it sorted out. But
there we go.
All right, you good? All right.
Yeah.
He's good and he's gone. I swear.
Yeah, we got
exactly. Well, we're going to move on without him. He'll get it sorted out here, and we'll bring him back in whenever he comes back. But anyway, let's get into pro wrestling. Yeah, this actually might be one of our shorter shows because without the news and politics segment. I mean, there's only so much in movies and sports this week, so it's going to be some shorter segments. So it'll still be fine. We don't need to have a 3-hour show necessarily, but we'll still have some good stuff to talk about here. So anyway, we're good into pro wrestling, though. Let's do that. If I could find the actual thing to pull up here. Did I?
People.
Oh, I know I did. There we go. All right. So, in Royal Pro Wrestling, we've got a couple pay-per-views this weekend we're going to talk about here. Before we get into those predictions, the Street Profits won the World Tag Team titles on Monday Night Raw this week, defeating Braun Breaker and Austin Theory, thanks to the help from Seth Rollins, who has been a reluctant teammate of the Street Profits as of the last few weeks. Seth Rollins nailed Austin Theory with Logan Paul's brass knuckles that Logan Paul put out on the ring apron that he was going to send to Austin Theory to kind of help him win. That's when Joe Hendry appeared, say his name and he shall appear, and he chased off Logan Paul, which then left the brass knuckles sitting on the ring apron with that Seth Rollins grab, and then he whacked Austin Theory with those knuckles, leading to the Street Profits to get the pinfall victory here. So Braun Breaker screws Seth Rollins out King of the Ring tournament opportunity. So Seth Rollins then has now turned around and screwed Braun Breaker out of the tag team title. So a little bit of tit for tat going on here, which will also lead into the Night of Champions steel cage match between Braun and Seth Rollins coming up tomorrow afternoon that we're going to talk about in just a second. But what do you guys think about the Street Profits once again becoming tag team champions here in WWE?
I will say
I think they suck.
Both Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are two very underrated wrestlers on their own regard, especially Montez. Did you know Montez has a music career outside of wrestling too, and is very good?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
really.
Montez Ford is a very talented individual, and
He's
Angelo Dawkins, like I didn't know, but I found out like this was like probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a video that randomly started playing on my phone after I was listening to something else, and I was just listening to it, and I had no idea. But legitimately, Montez is a very talented fucking wrestler. He's very athletic. Like the height that he gets off that frog splash.
Oh hell yeah,
insane. And I think like they could be a very good foundation for the tag division if WWE decides to do something with their tag division.
Sure.
But they have to do something with it first.
That's the crux.
They've got some pieces, but yeah, it's how you utilize them for sure.
Yeah, but yes, I mean I'm happy that they got it back. I mean, with the vision,
the injuries.
The way that they are, I think it's more fitting to put it on a team that you can rely on that's not involved in a really major storyline as far as with Braun Breaker anyway. You know what I mean? And his whole thing with Seth Rollins. I think moving the tag titles to a team that you can then now freely branch off into the other storylines is more beneficial. So I just hope they, do something with it.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I feel like SmackDown's probably got the deeper tag team division at the moment. But there are teams that you could definitely work in on Monday Night Raw. And I'm still hoping that one day we'll get the Lucha Brothers together at one of these days again as well. But they've kind of got their own separate things going on, singles title runs themselves as well. But yeah, there's a lot of potential here. And of course, like I said, this ties in heavily with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins anyway, leading into their big match tomorrow at the pay-per-view.
And it looks like we're going to have a program between Joe Hendry and either
could be Theory at this point.
Theory because Logan's being hurt right now.
Yeah, which I'm kind of glad they're doing something with it because when Logan Paul initially got hurt, you could tell they scrapped the Joe Hendry thing because Hendry wasn't on Raw for weeks after that, and now it's like they've got Logan at least doing appearances for the show.
So he must be coming back within the next 2 months or so,
probably. But even so, even if he can't wrestle yet, though, just to have him on screen still gives Hendry something to do, and you can throw Austin in there as a stopgap between now and Logan Paul being healthy. So I think it's smart. I really do. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with that. But and then of course, we still got Bronson Reed. We're waiting on coming back. Who I don't know if you've seen pictures of Bronson Reed.
No, he trimmed down. He looks fucking good.
I don't know if I can find
legitimately.
Real quick.
He looks good.
I'll see if I can find one of him real quick. But yeah, the dude is in like the best shape he's been in, probably ever that I've seen him in. So let me see if I can pull up a quick shot of this for those of you who've not seen it. I was trying to find the side by side. This is just since January, mind you. of this year. I mean, he's what would you think he is normally? About 400 pounds, 350,
Yeah.
355? Well, here
Yeah.
he is on the left when we last saw him. On the right is his current progress. He's lost a ton of weight, which
Looks
Steroids
good, too,
will
man.
do it to you.
well, it's not necessarily the roids in this case, but it's one of those things like Bronson Reed's had some injury history here as of late, but him getting more in shape will probably help him mitigate or I guess delegate those injuries from happening as
Yeah.
often. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So hopefully this will be
Yeah.
good for him in the long.
And it wasn't like, hold on, let's stop. Like, it wasn't like he was in terrible fucking shape
No.
before. He was
Yeah, for a
just
big
big
guy.
as shit. Yeah.
Yeah, just for a big dude though. This I mean it also helps his cardiovascular, the whole spiel.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good for him all the way around. As it would be for all of us to probably. I know I could drop a few lbs. I'm just saying
Yeah.
for sure, just speaking from experience. But
I mean, seriously, Eric.
Wow.
hey,
that's
dude,
crazy.
Matt probably don't remember when I was under 200 pounds. But I used to be
I got
skinny for my size.
that's
yeah.
what I was talking to Miranda about a couple days ago or whatever. Like, I remember when we did that whole bet thing, and
Mhm.
and I dropped close to, well, it was over 30 some pounds in the 6 months that we were doing it, and like how
Brandon.
great I fucking felt. Like,
You notice it
night
too.
and
Brandon,
day. Yeah.
do you remember when you hit Drew in the chest?
Drew was talking about that the other day too.
And then,
The chop.
then-
That was hilarious.
and then made Drew have heart surgery from that. Yes, I
I
remember
did
that.
not. That
Yes,
wasn't.
you did. You are so responsible for that.
You realize how much time I think was between that and that?
Yeah.
I never put two and two together though. Holy crap, dude! Oh man. Well, we're glad that Drew's doing much.
I was. Yeah,
Buddy of ours
we were
report.
talking. We were talking
Yeah.
about that because he was explaining to a couple of the new hires. This was a while ago. That like a couple people had in here because he had a cooked product in him, and like he knew everybody from the person who picked it to the person
I
who
scanned
scanned
it. Yeah.
to the person who packed it, which is
Which is cool. They can actually go look and see where the product that he had put in his heart, who did what process to get that product to him at the hospital. And he actually literally come up to, I think, everyone and said thank you, because he found me personally and said, hey man, I know you don't hear it enough probably, but the fact that your job's literally saved my life most likely, so it was really cool to hear that, because we send out, so I mean, as a medical product, we ship stuff to hospitals all over the country. It's nice to know that when it's somebody especially, it actually helped out with. Of course, we know we save a lot of lives by doing what we do that way, but you don't always get to hear the actual patient say, hey, thank you very much. And that was cool. It was
just
crazy
like
that
one emergency surgery that was happening in that little baby. And we got a picture of the little baby and all that stuff afterwards, which was really cool.
Yeah. It's kind of a job sometimes. Like, I mean, like any other job, we just go to. A lot of times we go to work just thinking, okay, it's just another day. We got to do this or that. But then when you really stop to think about how much, like, just the process of, making these products and sending them out to people, that actually really saves lives. It's really kind of cool. So it's one of those things that it kind of makes you feel good at the end of the day when you really stop to think.
Yeah, that was just a funny story. I brought that up because Brandon was feeling good about himself.
I completely forgot, because there was one time he had Brandon give him a wrestling chop to the chest, and that's I never put the connection together.
Lit his fucking ass up too.
Yeah. Oh, I saw there's video of it somewhere. The video's hilarious. So,
lit his ass up too.
I also want to point this out. I also have a video on my phone that it popped up the other day, Brandon. I know this is not from topic, Eric.
You're fine.
But it's a video of I believe, Brandon, you're drunk, and I'm in a wheelbarrow with Drew going down the hill down at Brandon's property, and I
don't remember this at all.
I think Brandon and Tony were both drunk.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
I don't remember the time, but it just remembered some gooder times,
It was the night we got those big ass inflatable balls from the neighbor, and it was.
And then we were playing hide and seek in the dark.
Yeah.
And then everybody was accusing Brandon of cheating because nobody could see Brandon. and then it became a mess. And I remember that night very
It was just
vividly.
people laying down in my backyard because
Yeah.
like you can't see shit back there. There's no light.
Nothing.
This must have been one of the holidays I was out of town on or something.
It must have been, dude.
But
It
No,
was,
Eric,
I
you
don't
weren't
remember
there.
this. I
Eric,
wasn't-
you were not there. You
I
were
was
out
gonna
of
say-
town.
I was gonna say it makes most sense, but
it was fucking
Yeah,
hilarious. I
you were
remember
not
talking
there,
about
Eric.
that's
But
funny.
it was on my phone, and Drew is in it, and we're in a wheelbarrow for some reason.
There
Well,
was a conversation too because Matt's year anniversary had not year anniversary. Its anniversary popped up, and me and Drew were talking about it, and then Drew stops. He goes, "Yeah, we were in Matt's wedding. Like he got married. Like Matt Clendenning got married.
got married.
And then he goes, oh yeah, the bus. Cause we were talking about going to Top Golf is what it was.
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the
That was
bus.
crazy. That
And he
was
goes,
crazy.
the blow up doll. I was like, I have video
Yeah.
and pictures
God.
of you with this blow up doll. And he
Yeah.
goes, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you can just tell by
Yeah,
Matt's face that
it was
was
a
awkward.
That
was awkward. That was very awkward.
Well,
it was awkward, but show people did it, which is crazy.
yeah, we didn't do it. Yeah, don't blame us. That wasn't our thing.
But that
Mike-
was
Yeah.
that was a good fucking time though. Like we went hit some
Yeah.
golf balls for a couple hours. That was a hell of a lot of fun.
Top Golf was a great idea.
Yeah, I want to go
I
back.
love going to Top Golf.
Yeah,
In fact, I still have a lifetime membership to Top Golf because of
yeah.
that.
So do, we all do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do too. I never did activate it though, or whatever, but I got it somewhere, I guess. But it's probably
It's in your email. Just use your email.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
to find out one of these days. But yeah, I want to go back to Top Golf because last time I went, it was either a foot issue I had or a back issue, and I wasn't able to do
Mhm.
very well. And I want to.
Do you remember the people that were next to us who she fucking flung that, or no, the top above us? We saw the fucking golf club come flying off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's completely
clearly golf club.
Yeah.
Well, somebody had a little too much to drink.
To me, it's basically a bowling alley, but
Yeah.
just with golf is what it is.
Yeah,
It's kind of
It
fun,
was-
but
that
yeah.
was hell of fun though. Yeah, we definitely got to do that again.
Yeah, we got to do that again. I agree with that. Mike said in the chat, this kind of goes along with this. He said, Matt is like the gopher from Caddyshack, a little turd that
Yeah.
just shows up to cause trouble.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's where that's
me
going.
and that gopher go way back.
And I'll get back to this over here in a second. But Mike also said, remember when Montel? I think he means
Montez. Wait.
No. He's talking about Montel came to work to thank all of us for what we do. He had one of our products used on him. I think he means like Montel Williams. I think. Am I wrong on that? I don't recall this, but
Not sure.
maybe I don't recall. But
Montel Williams.
I
Do not
I don't
recall.
remember this, but maybe he can refresh us in the chat. But
Mhm.
I don't think it was Montez in that regard. But
Okay.
back to wrestling a little bit though. He said, "I watched
Yeah.
AAA last week and was glad to see Angel and Humberto being used in a major angle. Some are criticizing comparing them and Undertaker. Yeah, I agreed. I mean, because I thought for sure once they let go of Santos Escobar, they were screwed.
This is
but-
wrestling related that I'm going to bring up, Eric. I was watching a video of the Undertaker. Okay. And
yes,
he
it
was
Montel.
talking to Mark Henry.
Uh-huh.
I believe it was Mark Henry.
Probably
And-
take your podcast.
Yeah, and there was an angle that he was mad about that Vince was making him do.
Oh, the one where he walked out and he didn't have an opponent. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was mad about it, and he told Mark Henry, looked at him, he said, he calls him dead.
Yeah, he calls him dead. Yeah,
Dead.
He did.
A dead.
Well, that was
And-
the one where Mark Henry was left out in the ring, out to dry after a show, and then I guess by the time he got to the back, everybody left. So Mark Henry destroyed the backstage area
Yeah,
because he thought it was unprofessional, and it kind of was, but it was a rib, and that's something they do in pro wrestling. But yeah,
it shows me like how much the booking these matches. You know, we make fun of it being what you would call scripted or whatever, but it just shows that the booking in these matches really matter.
Well, yeah, but this wasn't that. This was literally the owner of the company playing a joke,
Mhm.
and he had no idea. Obviously, it was a joke, and
Mhm.
so his rage was justified in that aspect. But
Well, and I think according to the way Mark Henry told it too, it was Vince trying to pull out a side of him that Mark wasn't showing on screen. He wanted Mark
Mhm.
to kind of become more aggressive. He was trying to get the anger out of him, and that's what he did to pull it out. And after that happened, I guess Mark said, "I knew what to do now to get my character to come across on screen the way it was." So
Mhm.
that makes sense. It's just Vince had an odd way of getting it out of him, but
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
worked. So what can you say? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, going back to the Montel Williams thing, though, at work, apparently, Mike said he came and spoke in the atrium, thanking all of us. We got to go up and see him speak. Probably was the day that I was taking a PTO day, maybe so. But this, I do vaguely remember this, but this is
Wait,
like
the
way,
actual Montel Williams, like,
yeah, he had some sort
wow.
of procedure, and yeah, I guess it's one of our products.
Huh.
And but I guess, like I said, I think this was easily over a decade ago. Easy.
Mhm.
Had to have been because like I said, I barely remember, but it does ring a bell though. So yeah, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, but back to the other pro wrestling stuff we'll get through here. Also on Monday Night Raw this week, we saw the heel turn of Lyra Valkyria, who after months and months of frustrating losses alongside her partner Bailey, after getting, I believe she was the one who got pinned in this match against the tag team champions. And then, of course, after the match, Bailey tried to console her, but that's when Valkyria snapped. Even Irish whipped her into the ropes, the middle and bottom ropes so hard. Kind of reminded me of the not
Enzo Amore.
Amore
Mhm.
going into the ropes and banging his head off the mat. That's probably what they're going for here, but it was done safer. But it was done in a way to where you were kind of concerned for Bailey for sure. But Valkyria definitely going heel on her former tag team partner here. So
Good.
this
I
feud will
think
probably
this is
continue.
something Valkyria needed, and it
Yeah.
was smart for it to be her instead of Bailey.
Yeah, because it kind of feels because Bailey's kind of been there, done that a
Mhm.
little bit, and she's kind of got a long story to kind of get her back to being babyface again. So
Mhm.
I think you're right. I think this will probably give Valkyria a little bit of an edge, and I think it
Mhm.
makes more sense for her. So yeah, we'll see where this goes, but
You know,
definitely kind of interesting. Yeah,
I I am surprised that they've not used. I mean, they have used Bailey quite a bit,
sure.
Mhm.
but I'm surprised they haven't used her kind of like a Charlotte Flair
Hmm.
or kind
Well,
of like a mentorship kind of role.
but that's what this is. That's why
Basically,
she was put with
But that's
Valkyria.
what I'm about to ask you, Brandon. If
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
what this
angle that
is.
they're going to take, then
Mhm.
sure. I mean, yeah,
The,
I can see that.
when Bailey first came back, she was healed. I mean, she was part of the damage. Is it Damage Crew? I think it was called, or Damage Control. And
Yeah,
then her splitting from them with that whole match between her and uh oh shit, Becky,
but
where she
yeah.
lost, yeah,
Mhm.
and then them splitting Damage Control up, and then they went, and then when she came back, and then she ended up teaming with Valkyria, and it was this one of those things where like Bailey was still kind of heelish, she wasn't really fully
Mhm.
face yet,
Well,
and
didn't
then
Becky
becoming
also take the Intercontinental title from Valkyria too? I think
yes, yep,
so. That kind
and
of tied
then
into. Yeah.
so this was been like I said, I'm glad it's Valkyria and not Bailey going heel, because now you'll get to see the fruits of what they built between the relationship they built between Bailey and Valkyria, and it gives something for Bailey to do when she's not really in the women's title scene right now, which I'm sure she'll get back to
Mhm.
at some point. But right now, the important thing is building up Valkyria and getting her to that next level. And Bailey's the good way to go here, because Bailey is, no matter what anybody thinks, she is really one of the ultimate baby faces. And
Yeah.
like, even though I enjoyed her heel run, the both times.
It's kind of like Cody Rhodes. You kind of have to. He has to be a
Yeah, but at this
babyface.
point with Cody, because Cody is such
White meat baby face or white whatever you call it.
yeah, you want to see like, and
I
we
guess the
did
right
on the
word.
indie scene and in New Japan. I'm sorry, with when he joined the Bullet Club.
Yeah, Cody was a heel for a
Feel
while. Yeah, on the Indies.
because you want something different
Mhm.
with him, but his again, it's different with Bailey because Bailey's always going to be the hugger. Like you can't escape. Like it was
Yeah, every crowd she
so.
goes to, including this London crowd, we're doing the
Mhm.
hey, the chant for
So
like they
like
did back in the day.
she will always be that, even though when she's a heel,
Mhm.
it's still so to give her this responsibility with her and Valkyria, I think is a good call, and especially for Lyra. I think Lyra needed somewhat of a change and more edge to her character in itself. So like, because she's phenomenal in the ring.
Bring back the Raven's wings or whatever she
Yeah.
had for her entrance. That would just add a little more mystique to her as well.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Bayley being a like a mentor type figure, I hope that Bayley is at least able to stick around and continue to do this long enough where Izzy can come up to WWE.
Yeah.
If you, for those of you who don't know, Izzy used to be this little girl who used to follow Bayley, like was her biggest fan in NXT. She was always in the crowd with her same her attire and stuff on, and of course Bayley would give her hugs and stuff. And the fact now that Izzy is a pro wrestler herself, she's still like 16 or 17, so she's still probably a few years away from maybe getting in WWE. But I'd love to see her team up with Bayley, her mentor, her idol, and kind of run that back as well. And then you can maybe even do this sort of storyline down the road if Bayley was able to, and maybe Izzy could turn on her or vice versa. But for a while, I'd love to see them kind of team up and maybe Bayley kind of bring her in and like, hey, I'm going to train her up, be the next big thing. So hopefully one day we'll see that. But that's just kind of my fantasy bookie. We'll see if that ends up happening. So yeah. And Mike said, if you want a good wrestling prank, watch the video of Daniel Bryan having William Regal's old Real Man's Man music play suddenly in the middle of his entrance. Regal cracked and Bryan lose. I do remember that. That was pretty funny. So yeah. And I don't know if that was Bryan pulling that thing or if that was like Vince in the back having some fun with Regal. Either way, pretty hilarious though. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, but yeah, good stuff there. So we'll see what they do with Lyra Valkyria, but I like where they're going with it. Also on SmackDown, now SmackDown was taped a couple days ago for tonight because they were in London, England, and of course, it was available online to watch in certain places, and of course, spoilers got out all over the place, and so we know the results of tonight's show. First of all, the MFTs are no more. Solo Sikoa and his crew, Tama and Tala Tonga, have officially split up. Last week on SmackDown, of course, Solo Sikoa accidentally cost Tala and Tama the World or the WWE Tag Team Championships against Damian Priest and R-Truth. But after losing
Damian Priest.
Yeah, exactly. After losing last week, though, and now this week, Tala and Tama approached Solo in the backstage area and said that they're officially out after that. Plus, the elders have informed them that they need to move on. Whoever the elders are, he's alluding to, I'm not quite sure. We'll maybe find out. We may never actually know that because they've referenced the elders before and the Samoan family and whatnot. But either way, Solo is now Solo.
They're pulling that. It's like SpongeBob when they pull the magic conch.
Yeah,
that is the elders that decide who is going to be
right. This whole but could it be Roman Reigns? We don't know, but it sounds like it's somebody like maybe even above Roman or something. Like the ancient elders of the Samoan land. I don't know what you call it, but either way, so now the question is going to be becoming, okay, what's going to happen with these guys? Since they're no longer a part of this crew, of course, obviously, some of the other members of the MFTs have been let go by the company, and it was just down to Tama, Tala, and Solo at this point. But yeah, so the question now becomes kind of what happens next. Solo Sikoa, a week or so ago, told Jacob Fatu, you tell Roman, if he keeps messing with my family, the MFTs, then maybe I need to come to his show and start messing with his, referencing the bloodline. And that's exactly what Solo Sikoa did on Monday Night Raw this last week in a match between LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. Solo Sikoa showed up and gave Jimmy the Samoan spike, which led to LA Knight getting the pinfall victory. And of course, LA Knight's no friend of anybody from the bloodline, past, present, or future, including Solo Sikoa. So he couldn't understand what it was all about. He questioned Solo Sikoa on SmackDown this week. And Solo said, quote, I don't like anybody from the bloodline. I hate the entire family, Roman, Jay, Jimmy, everything about him. So he clearly is not working for Roman against LA Knight in this case, but LA Knight just doesn't trust anybody from this whole faction.
Obviously.
So are we going to get maybe Solo rejoining the bloodline? Kind of like Jacob Fatu was hesitant to do so, but Roman had to get him to, acknowledge him after Tribal Combat. Or is Solo Sikoa maybe going to show up at Night of Champions and maybe bring Zilla Fatu with him, who reports today are stating that WWE has either already signed or is going to sign, which we've kind of speculated was going to happen anyway. So it just kind of makes you wonder there. And then, of course, on the other side of this, you got Tama Tonga, who's got a history with Finn Balor. And Finn Balor is now on SmackDown with Tama and Tala. So, and they even went face-to-face the last couple of weeks in the backstage area a little bit, talking and kind of alluding to their history, I think, in New Japan. So yeah,
here's my thing. I don't think neither Tala or Tama is going to be released.
No,
simply because there was way more value, obviously, and And look, don't get me wrong. I love the Gorillas of Destiny. Okay. In New Japan.
Right.
The reason being is because they wrestle differently than they do here in the States. The thing with Tama was the muscle of the group.
Sure.
Tama was obviously the better, more wrestler. And like, and no disrespect to Tama Tonga. Like that's not what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Tonga Loa was not.
Yeah, Tonga Loa was not.
That's why he got released.
And
yeah.
There's obviously more value and character in Tama Tonga than there is in
it's a lot of Tongas and Tamas.
Tonga Loa.
Very confusing here, yeah.
So like
yeah.
I don't think that's a concern.
No.
You know, with being released or whatever. But him and Finn Balor fucking take my money.
Well, what that old like bullet correct me if I'm wrong, is that old Bullet Club stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm very kind of hazy on my
they wrestled against each other too.
Okay.
Before they joined God joined the Bullet Club. Again, the Bullet Club was started by Finn Balor.
Sure.
And Bad Luck Fale.
Mm-hmm. Even Tama even mentioned Shinsuke Nakamura on this week's episode of SmackDown too. There's a history there.
And they have history too because Shinsuke was part of Chaos, which was another faction. He ran Chaos. Him and
which is crazy.
Okada.
Yeah, Okada. Which is crazy, by the way, too, that WWE is literally referencing New Japan on their program. Who'd have thought that 5 or 6 years ago? First of all,
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy work right there. And I agree with you that I don't think Tama especially will get released. I think if anybody's getting released, it would be Tala Tonga. But even then, I think there's too much value there. But Tama Tonga, they clearly have an idea of splitting him away from Solo Sikoa and what they want to do with him.
And nothing against Solo, because again, Solo could go solo and be just fine. But I think Solo's story is more wrapped up with the whole bloodline thing. And it's because if you think about the Tongans, they were, brought in. They're not part of the whole dynasty itself, so to speak, as far as the Anawahi and Fatu family go. So, like, yeah, they're making it more a family-oriented thing now.
It's the WWE's mafia, guys. It's like literally like there's going to be twists and turns and different things they're going to do with the story. And again,
backstabbing
and when they bring in Zilla Fatu, where's that going to fit in? We don't quite know yet.
Is legitimately Roman's nephew.
Yeah, there's so many different places this old bloodline tree can go, and I like that it's still got legs to it. I mean,
all of them are going to be fun.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be. And there's things that they can do, and this all ties in with like the LA Knight stuff and different things that they're doing as well. Which I still wonder what they're doing with LA Knight at this point. But we'll get
very
there.
Very intricate. Yeah, thank you. Like woven web. Yeah. You me a Coke. But like it's a very interesting web that was weaved legit, like
woven.
Woven, yeah.
Woven. Yeah.
I love the Danhausen stuff they're doing.
I didn't even mention that, but stuff they're doing with Miz and Kit Wilson right now. They've even got Zack Ryder going woo 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 because he got zapped. So I kind of wonder if we're going to get. He said on SmackDown this week, I'm actually craving Long Island iced teas. Like
Danhausen is in the Miz's pool in one of the shorts.
That was weeks ago.
Did you see the one with Dan, like the pictures of Dan and Charlotte?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Charlotte
with the Charlotte face. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Danhausen has taken on his whole lore has taken on a life of its own here in WWE, and I'm happy for him. I really am because I thought he was underutilized in AEW. I just feel like Danhausen's shtick fits better in the WWE mold. It really does. The way they like to do their comedy stuff. So it's working, and I'm happy.
You know how many Knicks jerseys he sold?
Quite a few, I'm sure.
Quite a few.
Yeah, quite.
And think about this real quick. This came from a throwaway comment or request from a fan to uncurse the Knicks.
And he did it.
The Knicks go along and win the finals.
It's really weird.
It's like it couldn't have played out better.
which I still find, which again, this is not the Knicks' fault, so you can't hold this against the Knicks. But it is interesting how the Knicks won and they did not have to face the team that's knocked them out the last few years in the Pacers because the Pacers were so bad after Halliburton was hurt. So it makes you kind of wonder what would have happened had Pacers been good. But again, that's not the Knicks' fault. You can't take anything away from the Knicks. But it's just one of those things. They didn't have to face their old rival. But hey, good on the Knicks anyway. We congratulate them.
Hey, it may happen next year.
Yeah, you never know. We'll have to wait and see. We got a couple chats here. Matt's wife Sierra said, "Excuse me, sir, husband. Whose house you at? LOL." So yeah, where are you at tonight?
For those people that don't know this, I am visiting my brother.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. So
tell your brother I said what's up.
He is not currently here.
He'll be back.
Damn.
He is coming from Florida, and he will be here at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So I just came down here and started podcasting.
10 o'clock your time, not ours.
Yeah, not your time. Yeah, you guys are on. You guys, it's probably already past 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's almost 10:30 here. So
yeah, it's 9:23 here. So I'm on Central Time.
Wow.
Regardless, tell them I said hi. Shit.
Yeah, we're spanning all sorts of time zones here on the channel tonight for sure.
And Sierra is back home. I'm letting her have the house to herself. Hopefully, the cats do not tear.
But we're glad she's watching the show, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Mike said, saw that the WWE did a segment where the War Raiders challenged Priest and R-Truth to a winners take all match for the WWE and AAA tag titles. Priest accepted and said they'd let them know when and where. Yeah, I did see that too. Obviously, the War Raiders are the AAA tag champions. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up going here. But I'm imagining probably so too. That'll be a fight. It really will.
Well, Priest probably will go back down to AAA too. He was there for a while. Especially with Taker running it, yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Taker's a guy I think could maybe do Damian Priest some justice with his gimmick as well. You know, I'd like to see what maybe Taker could do with him. And Mike also said you could say the bloodline is like the Sopranos. Just don't end it playing the song "Don't Stop Believing." I never really watched all that show, but yeah, I've heard it's really good. Yeah, and he said that's why Matt is allowed. That's why Matt is allowed in his house. His brother isn't there to stop him.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Got to put up a guard dog. Something. But anywho, yeah. So that means we've got obviously a couple pay-per-views this week, and we're going to talk about. First one up is of course WWE's pay-per-view Night of Champions from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, that's taking place on the 27th tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Since it is all the way across the globe. And we got 6 matches for the show, including the United States Championship being Trick Williams defending his title against Ricky Saints. We got Tiffany Stratton defending her women's United States title against Jade Cargill. We also got the steel cage match we mentioned a while ago, Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. We got Liv Morgan versus Io Sky in the Queen of the Ring finals to see who will get the #1 contendership match at SummerSlam. We also got Obafemi versus Jey Uso for the King of the Ring finals to see who will challenge either Roman or Cody Rhodes, but potentially depending on what happens here, because Cody's defending his title in a triple threat match against Gunther and Sami Zayn for his WWE Championship too. And we've talked many times about Sami Zayn, I guess, even back at the Royal Rumble, but when it was in Riyadh, challenging for the championship there, I believe it was Gunther at the time. And so is there a possibility maybe this is where they pull the trigger on Sami Zayn winning the world title in, Saudi? I mean, that could be interesting. We'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. But we thought maybe that would happen at Royal Rumble. And, of course, whether you like Sami Zayn or not, Sami Zayn's gimmick about him being like the real last good guy or the last real good guy, and this whole thing about his real fans and his true followers, it's actually working for Sami Zayn in a way that it's not worked in a long time for him when it comes to his gimmick. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with this. I don't know if they'll pull the trigger on Cody losing the belt, but if they do, this would be the time I would think maybe be the most likely situation outside of maybe SummerSlam.
Hear me out.
And then then Cody Rhodes needs to retire.
Just stop with that.
And then we can all enjoy wrestling again.
Let's hear Brandon. Yeah.
Sami Zayn wins, right? He's celebrating.
Troll.
The lights go out, and then you hear.
Oh, dude! I wish. You know how much that I would mark out like a kid, dude. Because it's been over a year.
Yeah.
Since I'm assuming he did have his surgery and everything right after that, right? That Kevin
Owens.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh my God! If Kevin Owens comes out.
I didn't think so. I didn't think about that, but I mean, I doubt it because usually
Yeah.
something like that takes a lot longer than a year,
Mhm.
if ever.
Yeah.
But dude, if there was ever a time, oh man, I would lose my collective mind, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, that would be outstanding. So,
Yeah, bring
I'm
back
just
Kevin
glad you
Owens.
knew whose music it was.
well,
It
I had
took
to think about it for a second. I was like,
second.
okay, I get it. Yeah, took a hot second, but yeah, that's a good call though. I like that.
Yeah, Kevin
That'd be
Owens
good.
would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I miss Kevin. He was a great wrestler, dude.
Mhm.
And of course, him and Sammy. It's kind of like Batman and Joker. We're
Brother,
destined to do this
the-
forever.
the
So
history that they have together,
yeah,
and the plethora of like, if you want to watch, fuck, I don't know if you go to GCW, go to ROH, hell, if you typed in Kevin Steen versus El Generico,
Mhm.
and just watch you could watch a whole videography on their matches together,
Mhm.
and how they progressively got more and more crazy each time. Like, you're right in that aspect. They're destined to do this forever.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that, like, I could go, yeah, I'd watch it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like,
every time, every time.
yeah.
And who better for a guy like Kevin Owens if he was to make a comeback one of these days? For his first
Mhm.
opponent be somebody who knows him inside and out to protect him, make sure he's safe, the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I'd be perfectly fine with that. But yeah, I'm thinking that's probably a long shot, but
Yeah.
I'd love to see it though. I'm not gonna lie to you for sure. So yeah, well, and we'll get into let's get into a couple of these chats here with Mike. He said it's been announced, by the way, that Damian Priest is going to be appearing in AAA. It was a spoiler for the upcoming weekly AAA show. So, but to Brandon's credit, that's a good call. Apparently, that's definitely something they've got. Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. So maybe they do the match down there in AAA for these two belts. So we'll have to wait and see if they do that. He also said talk was always maybe Sammy gets the title at Saudi Mania next year, but they may fear nobody watching it out of protest of Mania being there. Well, that they had a hard time filling the bleachers up there for the Royal Rumble a little bit from the sounds of things. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is the best time to maybe pull the trigger now. We'll see. And he said, talk is that Kevin Owens is indeed on the comeback trail. Remember, it was before WrestleMania 41 he left, so it's been well over a year. Well, I hope you're right, dude. I would gladly welcome Kevin Owens back. But I just know with those injuries, they're sometimes career enders for sure. But, you know, but yeah.
It was a neck injury, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one either. It was
not a good
one. Yeah.
And you know, I tell you, that match we watched at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis before WrestleMania 41 with him and Cody, or Cody,
brother, when he put him through that, like the way,
he folded up like an accordion. Yeah.
Aaron talks about that.
It wasn't even so much that; it was the freaking muscle buster or whatever off the ropes where he cracked his head on the actual ladder. Terrible, but well, I mean, good, but
and again, this wasn't just like, this was a long time coming. So this was something that built up. But that match did him no fucking favors.
No, did not. And it wasn't long after that he had to announce he had to step away. But I think he wrestled one more match at Elimination Chamber maybe that year. But either way, after that, it was So yeah, you're right. It's been almost a year and a half then, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
Around in there, maybe 16 months or something. But yeah, it's been a hot minute. So I never thought of that as a possibility this weekend. But dude, good on you if it ends up happening for sure. The rest of these matches here, let's start at the bottom here. Trick Williams and Ricky Saints. What do you think?
Trick Williams. And nothing against Ricky. Again, nothing against Ricky. I just think Trick is on a fucking hot streak right now. And it's like I said before, I'll say it again. It is now fascinating to see these guys on your main roster who were in NXT, were doing their thing, built themselves from, again, especially with Trick, because he was coming behind Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, sorry. And I don't know, basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you watched NXT back then, it was like Trick was Carmelo's hype man. That's what he was.
Sure.
And then to watch
a little shoddy.
To watch the transition where he stepped out of that shadow, and then the feud that they fucking had, and then Carmelo being called up to the main roster, and then like Trick is just left there on his own to survive. Him and Ilya Dragunov and that whole fucking storyline, and then that fucking match that they had, building up to Trick winning the NXT title, and then skyrocketed from there. Like, to see him now as the US champ and is still carrying that fucking torch. There was a little kid at for his birthday. He did the Trick Williams entrance. He had the fucking from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
he was all white, had the fucking overcoat with the long trail. He did the little spinning thing with the smoke. It is
nice,
fascinating.
Oh, I'll have to check
but
that
it
out.
Also like a round of applause for doing it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you
Right,
made you took it because it wasn't really a gimmick. It took him so long to find. I can't even say a gimmick. It's just him. And I think that makes the best gimmick when it's part of your personality,
right? Turn up
bleeding
to 11
into a character, and like phenomenal.
That's what makes the wrestlers' characters the best. Is when it's just themselves
and relatable.
And relatable too. And like we said last week, I think we mentioned too, this will be an opportunity for Ricky Saints to shine despite possibly being a loss. It'll get him over as long as he has a good match with Trick. And I have no doubt this match will be great. Both these guys are great competitors, so it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I agree. I think Trick Williams does retain here. We also got Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I really don't care who has the belt here personally.
Either of them. I don't care about
simply
neither
the
of them.
reason why I don't care. Really, the belt is no real relevance. Like it doesn't get the shine like Trick Williams' belt.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like there really isn't anything behind this title right now. Like,
not really.
Can they both tie?
Here's the thing. I'm not saying they need to put it on somebody who can, but they do need to put it on somebody who could give it some sort of relevance to build it up to make it a bigger deal.
Agreed.
But until that happens right now, it doesn't really fucking matter. So this right now depends on what happens after this match with this title.
Sure.
Where do you go from here?
Yeah.
Getting some more big name players involved with this would help. Regardless of how we feel about Jade and Tiffany, because to me they're both kind of iffy.
Kind of 1A, 1B at the moment, a little bit B, you know.
But they're both big names. They both held the women's title. But you have to start putting something behind this title. So whatever happens from this point forward, no matter who wins, you have to make that title relevant.
Agreed.
So
do what you did
to do it with Jade,
yeah,
then you have to make it relevant. If Tiffany keeps it, then you have to make it relevant.
Do what you did with Becky Lynch in the Intercontinental title.
100%.
Do that somehow, someone. I know Becky's not Jade or Tiffany, but whoever it is needs to have that kind of run with it. You know what I'm saying? To get make the relevance. I get your point. Seth and Braun Breaker. I feel like, is this the second or third match they've had? I know it's at least the second because they had the Mania match. I believe Seth won that one.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they had a third, but if this is only the second, there's probably going to be a third. But with a steel cage, this may be the blow off, especially if, say, Seth is involved in the world, or Braun for that matter is involved in the world. I think whoever wins this match could be involved in the world title picture.
It'll be Braun.
Do you think so? Well, it makes sense since Seth won the last one. So yeah, you're right.
It'll be Braun.
I could see that. So that we thought that through. Yeah, you're right. I think Braun's the winner here. How about the Queen of the Ring, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky? This is one I think could really go either way.
Yeah.
Really?
I will say I'm rooting for Io in this, but I wouldn't be upset if Liv won either.
I don't care much for Liv Morgan.
Well, it just depends on if you want to see best friends forced to do battle with Io and Rhea, or Liv Morgan trying to take all the gold. Liv against Rhea. So I think that's probably the end goal, Liv against Rhea. And again, this all depends on Rhea Ripley's injury. She's still not been cleared, but we're hoping that she'll get cleared by SummerSlam. Otherwise, they're going to come up with a backup plan. Otherwise, I don't know.
Hopefully, when they do that, they will transfer her to whatever show Liv Morgan's on, and she throws her through a chair. And I will enjoy that.
But I don't know. But if the goal is to give all the belts to Liv,
there is a particular word that describes Liv Morgan, and I use it very often.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Both of you are vastly incorrect.
That's her own words.
Okay, I'm going to use another word. How about annoying?
brother.
What?
She's doing her job great. That's the whole point. She's a
Yeah.
schemer. You should like schemers. You're a schemer yourself. You know.
No,
from one schemer to another, they don't like each
I'm
other.
not a
so there's
schemer.
that.
I just like the chaos.
He's jealous of the chaos she
That's what
creates.
it is.
That's what it is. And her height, all that sort of stuff.
I don't.
But
Wow.
either way,
Personal.
Yeah.
either one of these two is fine with me. But again, I'm rooting
Yeah.
more for EO in this one than I am.
In real life, I really don't care. Liv would be good with the title, and EO is awesome. You know, I would hope EO would get the push, but they could probably give it to Liv.
Remember, Liv's already got the world heavyweight championship,
Right?
Yeah.
For the women, and she'd have.
But
both
I think
if that's the case. But
if we're going to pursue this whole thing, especially storyline wise, with the Judgment Day as of late, with the three women, her winning that title, honestly, would probably play into that whole thing way more than EO. And again, EO could still chase for it, but if Rhea is actually hurt, then would it be more beneficial to have EO win and then just move EO to SmackDown? Or you're going to have Liv pull double duty? Or if you just unify the titles with Liv?
Yeah, the way some of this is going, I wonder maybe some title unifications could be happening. Maybe in I highly doubt it, but maybe, just possibly, there may be a chance that we'll have to wait and see. But let's get a couple super chats here. Mike said super chats are just chats. I guess we don't get paid for this. But anyway, Mike said Jade better super glue that wig on in that U.S. title match. That poor thing. I don't know. That was a disaster on Friday night a couple weeks ago. But that
shit happens though.
Yeah, I hear. And not only that, there was pictures going around of Jade's real hair. It's definitely short and stuff. But you know what? What's wrong with her hair there? I don't know why she has to wear the wigs. I don't get it.
Maybe it went with whatever she was doing, the costume or whatever it was that she was going for.
And she does that a lot with like different hairstyles and stuff. So maybe that's what it was. We'll get to Mike's other shot here in a second. But he said, sounds like Morgan makes Matt very live-id.
All right.
Okay, calm down.
Hey, you're bringing it upon yourself, Matt. You're just saying he's going to take that opportunity. And last but not least, let's talk about the King of the Ring finals: Oba Femi versus Jey Uso. Now, I think that we could potentially in the women's Queen of the Ring final get maybe the Judgment Day inadvertently or on purpose cost Liv the match. Potentially too. There's always that possibility. Or that may be the title match at SummerSlam. Maybe you build to that. But in this case, I think we all kind of predicted before. We still maybe feel like Brock Lesnar may cost Oba Femi this match. And Jey Uso, I think, in my opinion.
Because there's no way Jey beats
Oba straight up. No. Yeah.
Not happening.
No. Not the way they've been booking it. For sure. But I mean, there is a possibility Oba just wins the whole thing, goes to SummerSlam, challenges Roman. Maybe that,
or Solo shows up and causes Jey to lose.
Yeah, and even if he goes to get like SummerSlam to challenge a champion, Brock could cost him that title match there and sets up Brock later on. Maybe it's not at SummerSlam, but I think the ideal was Brock retiring in Minnesota at SummerSlam. So if that's the case, it makes sense for him to cost Oba here, and then it furthers Jey whether or not would he turn on Roman. Or would he challenge Cody like they've been teasing? So I think that's probably it sounds like Jey Uso is going to be your King of the Ring. And I believe even Jey Uso did an interview this week basically where he said, I don't care what the fans think anymore. So I don't know if that means he's going more heelish because of the way they said he wasn't worthy of being a champion all last year and all this sort of stuff. So maybe he's just kind of said, screw the fans. And maybe he goes, after one of the babyface champions here, even though Roman's kind of a heel. But whatever you want to call it, fans love him.
Kinda.
So, yeah, very much so after what he had Jacob do to Eric Andre. But so yeah, I think Jey Uso's your King of the Ring and Oba gets cost by Brock, and we'll further that feud. Got any other thoughts on that?
No, that's pretty
So
pretty good card though, legitimately.
Yeah, it's not a bad card. It's pretty good, solid matches. Just depends on how you book it and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, the steel cage match and that triple threat and the U.S. title matches could be very fun for sure.
Yeah,
it's the Oba Femi Brock Lesnar rematch, or is that later on?
That's probably going to be in August SummerSlam.
Yeah.
My guess.
Okay,
that's
SummerSlam. Okay,
this will set that up. I think we'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty certain that's what. Brock's going to make that trip to Saudi just to screw Oba over. I feel like this feeling, so we'll see how it goes. But before we get
the more I think about it, though, now I'm kind of glad that Brock didn't retire when he did, because
And
we got to see this.
well, that I think
You
the
know?
whole idea is to build Oba up even further. I
Yeah.
understand the criticism of it, I do, but I think after the 3-match series where Oba will get his revenge, as it were, on Brock, it will only further Oba's success, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see what happens. Before we move on to the AEW side of things here, real quick, Mike said, "How about Jay wins by hook or crook, wins the WWE title, and there's a power struggle with world champion Roman? You could, who's the best wrestler in the company, I guess you could say. I just don't know how that would play because I know the rumor also is CM Punk going over to SmackDown to eventually face Cody. So I just got this feeling Cody's probably not losing the title." Just because of that, but they can still do the Sami Zayn thing for the time being. Cody wins it back later and still do Punk Cody at Mania, so that's still a possibility. But yeah, that would be intriguing though. Jay and Roman in a power struggle.
Has Drew McIntyre quit wrestling?
No, Drew.
No,
Drew was hurt.
Well, he's scheduled to come back too. He was filming at the Highlander. Actually.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So I think he may be back sooner rather than later, but I'm not totally sure.
There was something I read about him possibly quitting wrestling, and I was like, no.
Well, if, you know,
Dude,
if
he came back, he comes back to Jay holding that title, which would just infuriate him.
Oh boy!
More.
Well, not only that, you inject him just with the Sammy Gunther Cody stuff as it is.
Yeah.
Let alone you add Jay to the mix. Like, you know, this whole thing could just explode for sure. So before moving to AEW, Mike had a series of chats here I wanted to talk about here. He said, I got to ask this, being it's been 19 years now, I guess this week, I think I did read this. Where were you when you heard about the Chris Benoit tragedy? I remember being home and seeing he and his family were dead. Then he wore his Toothless Aggression shirt the next day before I got the real details. And then he pulled the WWE and never wore it again and have no idea what happened to it. So, yeah, I don't necessarily remember exactly where I was when I heard about Benoit. I do remember watching the Raw where they did a tribute show to him before all the details came out, obviously. And then, of course, when it came out, I think it was like, I was probably at work the next day, probably when it actually, you know, the details come out, I guess. So yeah, it was very shocking, very disturbing. And say again, I've always kind of held with like Paul Heyman's view on this. You know, if you want to look at him as just as his career alone, you know, Chris Benoit, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. As a human being, though, screw him. Because that's terrible what he did in that situation. But yeah, that was tough. Do you remember where you were when you heard about it or anything like that? Or
I think I was either at home, or at work, and then I watched Raw that night, or the tribute show on Raw, and then I found out the details about it afterwards. But no, I can't like physically. I remember where I was when I heard about Eddie for 100%.
But even then, I don't even remember exactly where I was.
I was getting ready to do a wrestling show when I heard about Eddie.
Oh, was you? Okay. I just remember obviously the tribute again with Eddie for the most part. It's been so long ago at this point, but yeah, I mean it's just tragic.
But yeah, my view is the same as Heyman's and you know,
yeah, I agree. Just a sad situation, which sucks too, because Benoit was a great wrestler. And it sucks that his career has been torpedoed because of that, but he brought that on himself. He really did.
The entrance music, his whole presence was crazy work, man.
Mike said it changed the business. Chair shots to the head were done away with for good reason. Yeah, especially WWE. There are other companies who do them, but very much less than they used to. Obviously, AEW when it first started still did a lot of chair shots to the head, but it's gone down a lot as well.
Is that like concussion related?
Yeah, well, what do you remember the story of Benoit, Matt, or no?
I've heard of it, but I don't. I know that he kind of lost his mind.
Well, he was real close friends with Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero passed away, probably due to years of drug use in Eddie's case. But after Eddie passed,
it all caught up to him at once. Like he
eventually
turned his life around, got clean.
He got clean.
He was clean for years. It was just one day it just caught up to him.
His heart gave out on him, basically. So anyway, after Eddie passed, Chris took it so hard. And of course, the chair shots to the head of the company, which was already a thing with the CTE stuff going around with the NFL.
His diving headbutt did him no fucking favors.
He did a top rope diving headbutt where he literally crashed his head into guys all the time. So they said when when Chris Benoit died, they did like an autopsy on his brain. He had the brain of an 80-year-old Alzheimer patient. because of the CTE problems he had. But yeah, he kind of lost his mind. We think he lost his mind, but with an Alzheimer's patient's brain, he probably wasn't in the right frame of mind, which doesn't excuse what he did, but at the same time, it maybe gives you an idea of why it happened, you know. But anyway, he killed his wife, his youngest son, and then he hung himself in his gym with a
oh man,
it was bad. But
yeah.
So, but yeah, at the time we just thought it was they got murdered by somebody, but no, he was the one who did it. So just very, very sad, no doubt. Mike said Eddie, he was home and a friend called and told him about Eddie. Research showed Benoit, 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Thank you. So we're on the same wavelength there. But yeah, it was a terrible tragedy. So yeah, it's gotten the wrestling business as a whole to look at chair shots to the head and unprotected things to the head. So it's really done a lot of good for the wrestling business for their lives and stuff moving forward. So it's one good thing that did come out of it. That is for sure. All right. Well, we got one more pay-per-view real quick to talk about. We'll move on to something besides pro wrestling. So it's kind of crazy. I thought we'd kind of maybe have a short show, but we like to get involved.
And I got a big I fucking told you so coming.
Yeah, it's right here. If I get the picture to pop up.
oh.
When I saw this, I was like, are you first of all, Brandon, you're absolutely right. You called this from the jump. I give you all the credit in the world on this one. And there is some storyline behind it that makes a little sense, but I don't care about that right now. This to me is
I can't read it.
It says what the literal F. It's
I
Athena.
see that, but what's the top say?
It's Athena. It's her social media. Athena in AEW, we've talked about how they've not really let her win a lot of the times on the main shows and stuff outside of Ring of Honor. So AEW and Tony Khan defeated Athena again. They had Maya World defeat her. Now, Maya World, supposedly in Ring of Honor, I guess, was a trainee of Athena in storyline. So it does make a little sense there where the trainee defeats their mentor.
Again, Maya World has a very tragic fucking backstory.
Just this last few weeks alone.
Yeah, and I could see the potential. I could understand why. The reason why, cool. I'm okay with that part. But the issue is if it goes nowhere.
I know.
If she just goes back to ROH,
if Mercedes beats her,
then what the fuck was the point?
I agree with you. When I heard this, I was like, "Are again, really?" Because to me, it's such a layup. Because it's like literally, Athena was beaten by Mercedes in this tournament last year. Why can't Mercedes then lose to Athena this year? Makes all the sense in the world. It's the easiest booking call you can make. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's some narrative here where Maya World was the trainee of Athena, so she beats her mentor. Now, I believe she's even got a history with Monet as well. So. It does make sense here. Maybe Monet will do the right thing and book this to where, or take the fall to where Maya can get over.
I highly doubt that.
You're not, and if it happened, and it's like Brandon said, you got to remember too, both of these women were not even originally in this tournament. Mercedes Monet took over for an injured Willow Nightingale. Maya World stepped in for an injured Cirie, and she's not. And both these women were not even in the tournament when it started, and now they're both in the finals. So to me, the only thing that makes sense is don't you have to let Maya World win now to make this make any sense? But if Monet wins again, fans are going to hate this.
Here's the thing, and again, tragedy aside here. Okay.
For those who don't know, Maya World's 25-year-old brother tragically died in a fatal highway car crash earlier this month. So that's part of maybe why Tony Khan's like, this could be a feel-good story for Maya.
And she stepped up when nobody else did.
Sure.
To fill the void. Again, aside.
Right.
Okay. Even if Maya would have lost to Athena, you could have still rewarded her in another way for what she's done and what she's going through.
True.
You could have then taken that whole thing, let her connect even more with the fans as you build her up on Dynamite, not in ROH, to eventually facing Athena again for the title. Because again, I don't know why you wouldn't just have Athena win the whole fucking thing at that point to have you get what I'm saying? And then Maya World could then beat Athena again her mentor
Sure.
for the grand prize
Down the
of
line.
the title. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, that would have been great. Make it going into next year. Maybe
Yep.
they're thinking by then maybe people may forget about Maya, but if you continue to build
but
her
it's your job
properly-
to not let that happen.
Right, agreed. I agree.
So
As
to
Mike
beat
says.
Athena and
Yeah.
then just put her back down, and
Mhm.
because she's not going to be, we won't see Athena again. Maybe
Well,
until the next Owen Hart.
Well, on Collision tomorrow night, she is teaming with Mercedes Moné against Maya World and Haya, which is the tag team that's kind of been going around with these guys. But just got to build this a little further here. I guess let's see here. Oh, Mercedes Moné tweeted out, "I'm not your teacher, I'm your boss, bitch." And that had Maya responding, "I thought we weren't supposed to call her that no more," referring to the boss because she's no longer the boss from WWE as Sasha Banks. So clever, haha. But like, yeah, after this match was over, Athena even gave her a hug to actually congratulate her. But then that's when Mercedes attacked her, and Athena, they kind of gave her the double beatdown, which sets up the tag
And
match.
she's stuck in WWE too.
Who, Sasha or Athena?
Sasha.
Or
No, that's
she
a
didn't-
that's a lie.
Yeah. Matt, quit trolling. but
That's
Neither
not
one of
trolling.
them were bad in WWE.
no, neither of them, both of them were great, and they're both of them are still good here. But yeah, it's just the Athena thing. Now, again, let me play little devil's advocate here, just a little bit.
Okay.
Is there a possibility that Athena just prefers to be on Ring of Honor because she's a big fish in a small pond and is getting put over like crazy there? But I feel like you would want to have higher aspirations to be on AEW's main, and maybe they do. Maybe they do a tag team thing with Mercedes, and maybe eventually that explodes, and you still do something. Maybe after Monet wins the title again. But I don't know. I didn't like the way this tournament played out with Athena. At least maybe it'll end up being good. Maya wins, and it's a feel good story with all the tragedy in her life and all this sort of stuff. I get that, but if Mercedes just flat out wins again. And Brandon said as soon as she got in this tournament, I knew who was winning, and you may not be wrong. You've been right so far. So take your victory.
You may be right. You may be right. Maybe she prefers ROH. Maybe the schedule is lighter or whatever. I don't know. It just didn't make sense.
Maybe the schedule favors her travel schedule better. You don't know.
Well, I mean, they film it during Collision and Dynamite, so they're on the same nights. So I don't see why it'd be much different. But
that's also true. You're very right there.
So I don't know, but either way, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But not thrilled with the Athena outcome now. But
no, if Monet wins the whole thing, then even the story you're telling with Maya means nothing because it doesn't go anywhere. There's no payoff.
Yeah.
She made it to the finals. Okay, cool. But then she loses.
That's why I feel like she has to win this, doesn't she? You think?
She kind of fucking has to.
But then does she challenge Tekla or I don't know? Yeah, I guess it'd have to be Tekla right now.
It has to be Tekla. Who again is crushing it, by the way.
Yeah, so is that what you do? Now, granted, there is a pay-per-view between now and All In, which is Redemption next month. So maybe things change there to set up a big, All In women's world title match. I don't know, but Maya World versus Tekla, as much as it's some new names, would that be the match you want to headline your biggest pay-per-view of the year on the women's side? I don't know, but that's up to interpretation, I guess, and based on.
But you want Monet to beat her?
No, I don't want that either. So I don't know
what you want Monet to beat Tekla.
This is why real here. No, definitely not. I mean, I would maybe prefer the Monet Tekla match, Tekla winning, but
if you're having this great underdog story with Maya,
sure,
even her losing to Tekla still does more for her than it does for Monet.
Yeah, for sure. You're not wrong there.
Monet goes into this match and she wins, then what the fuck? Like Tekla legitimately has been crushing it as the women's. What she did in Stardom, the way she showed up there and what she did to further that whole Forbidden Door match, like who the fuck is doing that?
And we're about to get another Stardom reunion match with Tekla here in a little bit, which we're talking about in a second. But yeah, well, not only that, you got to remember too, apparently there was reports going around that the winner of this Owen Hart Cup tournament on the women's side was supposed to be Toni Storm. But she went out with, we don't know what. A lot of people think she's pregnant, which that's what I think is too, and they just haven't announced it. But if it was that abrupt, they had to make a change. That's the only thing that makes sense. So I feel like that's what was supposed to happen, and then it was supposed to be Toni and Tekla, which they kind of started to build toward anyway. at the time. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But that does mean we have Forbidden Door coming up this Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, or 7 p.m. for the buy-in on pay-per-view, or I think HBO Max has it too. Of course, 9 matches on the main show, 1 match at least on the buy-in. I think they announced a survival of the fittest match, which was going to culminate at Dynamite next week for the vacant TBS championship. So there'll be 7 women, I think, going head-to-head for that match there. But on the main show here, we've got, of course, the steel cage match with Mark Briscoe and his team against MJF and the Don Callis family as well. We've got Cage and Cope defending their world tag titles against the Dogs. We got a 3-way tag team match between El Sky Team, Young Bucks, and Unbound Company. A couple of those, I don't even know who they are, but that's just
I was about to say, I have no idea who.
I think it's CMLL, but that's that. But yeah, then you got John Moxley and Bandito for the Continental Championship. Tekla versus Starlight Kid from Stardom for the Women's World Title. We got Shoto Umino against Pac for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega, Zack Sabre Jr., Monet, and Maya World, and of course Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay on the men's side in the finals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament to see who goes on to All In.
I would like to see Ospreay win that one.
Yeah, Ospreay, I think, is going to win that. I mean, I'm not going to be upset if Swerve wins. I just feel like it's Ospreay's time. We've talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about the women's thing there. Well, I mean, Kenny Omega and Sabre, I'm guessing Kenny, because if it's going to be Kenny and Ospreay, you got to get Kenny a win here and then move on to the world title, I'm assuming. That's just my thoughts on it. Pac and Umino.
Here's the thing, you don't want Forbidden Door, you don't want this thing where just AEW stars win. Like,
sure,
you know
of course. Right.
So do the Bucks take a loss here? Or does
I can see the Bucks losing and maybe Pac losing to the global championship of Shoto Umino. I can see that. Starlight Tekla's not losing to Starlight Kid, not the win.
That's not happening.
But that and Bandito maybe could change hands there, maybe. But
the Tekla and Starlight Kid thing, though, it's different because like Tekla has a history. I mean, if anybody who knows, I guess, outside of just me and you, I guess, really, of how she even got to AEW, Tekla anyway, which because she used to work for Stardom, and then she beat up the owner of Stardom.
And they've been playing on that in storyline here again. So that's great. So I'm glad they patched things up there at least.
Her lose, like, she's not going to lose. Let's get that out the way.
Not
even if Starlight Kid beat her, it would make sense narratively in a wider story frame, but like she's not fucking losing.
Much like Ricky Saints, it's a chance to highlight Starlight Kid, in my opinion, which is great. Gets her on a bigger show. I think Moxley will probably retain, but Bandito, he's the Ring of Honor World Champion. Could he become double champion? That'd be interesting too. And of course, I think Cage and Cope retains here against the Dogs for the time being.
What's and then, of course, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
sure.
I am not a huge fan of the Dogs.
Yeah, I'm not. They've not grown on me yet either. Of course, Gabe Kidd getting hurt didn't help. No. But yeah, you're right. It's not. I'm not feeling it just yet.
They haven't done themselves any favors, and here's why. And I'm being honest here. AEW's tag division is weird right now, and it's simply because it's only revolved around really, and I mean really, 3 teams. FTR,
and one of them may not be coming back. That one may not even be coming back for a while, if at all.
FTR, the Bucks, and right now, Cope and Christian. So any other team is kind of irrelevant. They just seem like they get thrown together.
Yeah, or in a bit of flux at the moment.
So
fair.
And here's my other thing. They have quite a few factions in AEW.
Yes.
And with these factions, you could have had, and you still could, really delegate teams, as far as tag teams go, to this division to actually help build this division up even further. You have the conglomeration. You have whoever the fuck decides to join the Don Callis family, which seems to be every fucking body at this fucking point.
I think Jake Doyle and Mark Davis will eventually get back on track as a tag team too.
But I think they're pushing. They're pushing.
He sounds like the Raiders owner.
But they're pushing Mark Davis more on a solo tip than anything.
At the moment, you're right. He is the international title holder for sure.
When
do something with Hechicero and Doyle.
Or El Clone. I don't even know where he's been lately. He might be hurt.
When you describe Mark Davis to me, what does he look like?
Big hoss.
Yeah,
Big,
fucking dude.
a big guy. Is he a big like country dude with a big beard?
He's got a beard. But I don't know about country, but
No, I think he was part of Osprey's group.
yeah, he's like, is that Australian? Right?
So he's like
Yeah.
Australian with a beard.
Aussie. What the hell were they called?
Aussie Open.
Yeah, Aussie Open.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it was Mark Davis, Kyle
Fletcher,
Fletcher, and
Will Ospreay was in
Will
there.
Ospreay,
Yeah, for sure.
I just
so yeah,
described a big dude. That's what
Anyway,
I'm kinda
sorry,
thinking.
that was just me side ranting for a second with
Okay.
the whole tag division of.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
AEW.
And they have a lot of talent there. It's just they've
That's what I'm saying. They do,
kind of
but it's like
sidelined it
it's
right
Oh,
now.
guys, this
It's so
was
weird.
This was a short show at one time.
Well, if you quit talking, it'd be shorter.
Shut up. And then the whole Bandito and Moxley thing.
We're about done,
I don't think Moxley losing. Like Moxley's not losing for one reason or another. But like,
right.
But I don't think I don't think that title right now benefits Moxley, because who are you going to put up against him to actually lose if it ain't going to be fucking Will Ospreay? So like,
yeah, that would make both sense right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
So my
maybe
opinion,
they do. I don't know.
Him losing that title is going to come from within, and I think it's going to end up being Cesaro, simply because like Cesaro really hasn't done shit.
I know
since joining.
Claudio is one of those guys, like I believe even Paul Heyman was quoted recently as saying that was one of the guys he thought WWE kind of didn't pull the trigger on when they should have, and AEW's not either. It's like, give this. I mean, I think he was the Ring of Honor world. I think he was CMLL world champion. Don't get me wrong, but give that man a world title or something in AEW. Yeah. You know, like the dude is standing in the ring. I don't get it.
Yeah, he should be in the heavyweight title discussion at some point. He should be a legitimate threat to win that title.
You could argue maybe the gimmick outside of his wrestling isn't the great, but
but they don't really give him a gimmick. He's just a lapdog in the fucking.
And they don't give him the opportunity to run with it. You're right. So hopefully that changes one day. But I would hold my breath
because
right
like
now.
He should be an Owen Cup winner, like for sure.
I agree with that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But what's your thoughts, at least on the main event here, the steel cage match, MJF versus Briscoe?
I've already seen it. Like I get that
part. It. But in this case, when it matters for the title opportunity, who do you think wins? They did give it away for free. That sucks.
It's not gonna be Briscoe. That's for damn sure.
Even though MJF's team won when it didn't matter, and now
MJF still, he's not losing it. He's not losing it until he loses it against Omega.
Well, yeah, but the title's not on the line here. I'm just saying for the title opportunity to Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe will win that, but
then
he'll lose the title shot. Okay. I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
Slightly confused for a second.
You're fine. Yeah. I think Briscoe's team wins here, getting the win back, and then Briscoe will probably. Which again, it's going to suck for Briscoe again, but I get it. It's not his time yet. But eventually, you don't want a Darby Allin where you just beat him. But then when he finally wins it, it is great. But
then it's short-lived and doesn't mean anything.
Well, I wouldn't say it meant nothing, but you're right. It was very short-lived in Darby's case. But yeah, I would like to have seen Darby hold it longer for sure. But yeah, I am interested to see what Darby does with Kevin Knight and MJF in this match. That could be a lot of fun to watch too. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, AEW always puts on great pay-per-views. I think this won't be any different. The matches will be great. Some of the storytelling, I said this to our buddy Nate at work this week. She was kind of, I think he respects my opinion because he doesn't watch WWE much anymore, just strictly an AEW guy. But I told him, I was like, dude, I know this sounds crazy since the last few years, but I think WWE is doing the better storytelling right now. AEW's always probably had the superior wrestling, but even WWE's been better on that regard with some of the women's matches this last week, notwithstanding.
That match, Alexa Bliss, cycling all their younger talent and building up their younger talent. And AEW has that edge. They have way more younger guys and guys who could do all the crazy shit in the ring. But at the same time, wrestling can't always be high spots either.
No, it can't. So I agree. So hopefully it'll improve there on WWE side. But anyway, we'll wrap up wrestling here with Mike's last chat. The dogs won't be able to cope with the legends and will get caged.
All right.
So yeah. And then he asked, is Aaron awake or did he go out to shoe a horse? That, you know what? Ever since Aaron got on tonight, he has not said a word. So he's here somewhere. But
shoe a horse. That's a good one.
Hey, I give Aaron credit. He tries to be on this show, but he has a lot with the kids going around there and stuff too, and the way your guys' work hours are right now. maybe that'll get better one of these days. But I give him props for at least trying. If maybe he don't start talking before the sports stuff or something, we may drop him out of here. But anyway, if he wants to come back, he can. But we'll see. All right, let's get into the movie segment here, and we'll get through this. There's not a whole lot of movie stuff this week, so it shouldn't take too long. So here we go. Okay, so say what you want about DC right now. Obviously,
I'm going to, so proceed.
Obviously, everybody loves to talk about how Marvel is better off than DC is currently, or at least in the last decade, maybe even or more. But there's one place that DC has always outshined Marvel, and that is, of course, in their animation, at least as of recently. Now, obviously, Marvel's making a bit of a comeback there with some of their series, including the outstanding X-Men 97 seasons, with season 2 coming out next week, by the way. More on that in just a second. But DC, for the most part, has outshined them in animation in every way, shape, or form. So we've got a couple little trailers here I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about where they're going there, and maybe DC, the state of the brand overall with this week's release of Supergirl. But first of all, we got our first look at season 2 of Batman Cape Crusader. So let's check it out real quick. Coming to Amazon Prime at the end of July. So here you go. Let's check it out.
We're losing this fight.
Not a fight anymore, boss.
Reminiscent of the old
It's a
animated
war.
It's our job to protect this city, no one else's.
Yeah, you and your bat buddy. When we get rid of the Batman, Gotham will be ours.
In Gotham, call the so-called Batman a hero. But I ask you, has the Batman made your children safer?
Now it's a party.
He's got a Tommy gun. I like that.
Random shootings more in the last 3 weeks than in all of last year.
Matt Reeves.
Nobody's crossing this Riddler guy. I'm running things.
The whole city's on the verge of panic.
This kind of chaos can spin out of control.
Then it's down to you. Again.
Pennyworth, it's me. I need the car.
Oh, yeah. Is that Rocket Man?
Just like bats and do detective work for free.
I want him dead. You get me? Dead! Dead! Dead!
Oh, wow. I like the old school vibe here.
I've come to awaken you.
To show you. Show me what?
What you are. Shall we begin?
So, all right. So, I ain't gonna lie. I did not finish the first season of Batman Cape Crusader. I started to watch a little bit of it. Kind of just fell off of it. Part of the reason was they turned Penguin into a woman, which I was like, okay, here we go. And they're doing the same thing in this second season by turning the Mad Hatter into a woman. But that notwithstanding, that alone is the criticism I have. But I will say that I like the noir vibe it's given off. It's got a since it's being executive produced by Matt Reeves, who's doing the Batman series, obviously with Robert Pattinson. It's definitely got that kind of detective, like grittier feel to it, which I do like that. And the noir style, like I said, I kind of like it was like set like old 1930s like version of Gotham with the Tommy guns and the old cars and that sort of stuff. So I do like that sort of vibe too. So I need to pick up season 1, finish it, and just try to ignore my little criticisms there and then move forward with it, because I do like the aesthetic of it and I think it's got some potential. But this has nothing to do with any other DC thing. It's kind of set on its own thing. So if you don't want to watch, you don't require any other viewing or any other series knowledge. It's just kind of its own series. It's kind of like a pseudo continuation of the original animated series Batman, but it's a different thing too. But yeah, it's just kind of picking up where that kind of vibe was sitting down. So, but yeah, you got any thoughts on this? Would you be interested in checking this out? Like I said,
yeah, actually, I would. I actually would. I because I enjoyed their animated, especially animated Batman.
Yeah, a lot of that coming clearly here in a minute. We'll talk about it. But yeah.
But yeah, I would. Is this what the first season or the second
No,
season?
this is the second season. The first season, I believe, is on Amazon. I think it was on HBO Max, but I think they may have moved it to Prime. Yeah, when I saw the first season, I did like it. In the second season here, we got the Riddler, Poison Ivy, Firefly, Mad Hatter, Roxy Rocket. That's who I thought looked like Rocket Man.
Mhm.
Solomon Grundy, Man Bat, and of course the Joker as the villains of this second season. So, and the first season had some different variations of different villains as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, why do we have to have Solomon Grundy?
Well,
Because
he's a Batman.
part of it. He was born
Like,
in the money.
I'm gonna throw up in my mouth.
Not your favorite, huh?
Well,
that's
no, it's like we're overusing this, guys.
Solomon Grundy.
I haven't
Solomon
seen
Grundy
him in
doesn't
hardly-
get like Solomon Grundy doesn't get Mad Hatter, fucking
Hatter.
Firefly.
See, Mad Hatter doesn't bother me so much that they did the whole gender swap thing because Mad Hatter's rarely used. Penguin, though, was kind of like, why'd you turn her into a woman?
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's I'll get off my soapbox there. But yeah, overall, I think seriously.
Yeah, but Mad Hatter though, you could. I mean, I could see the swap in that one too.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't really fucking matter. Like most of the time when you got Mad Hatter, it was was it
the puppet?
Him or the toy? It was a puppet. The
Yeah,
puppet was the one.
Wait,
Literally
I'm thinking of no, that was somebody else. That's not Mad Hatter. There was somebody.
No, was that the toy man?
Maybe it was. There was somebody who was a ventriloquist. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can't
it's not
remember.
her.
Who
But either way,
anyway, the thing with the Mad Hatter, that's fine. I don't care about that. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
Solomon Grundy though, fuck yeah, because Solomon Grundy, he's not really a villain. He was more like in the sense of like Bane.
Yeah,
he was more of a high-ranking underling than anything.
Matt says they used him. Name me one other thing they used Solomon Grundy in. I dare
Seriously.
you. I dare you. It had to have been another animated thing because it's not live action. I promise you.
And wasn't Solomon Grundy? Didn't he work for fucking? Or
I'm not including that in live action. I'm including it in animated.
Well, how many?
He was always an underling. He either worked for Penguin or I think it was Penguin.
Let's see.
Penguin
He's
or
in the
Two-Face.
Arkham games.
Well,
He's
that's maybe.
He's in Lego Batman.
Well, yeah, but you play all these games, so that would
I feel like it's being pushed down my throat. Just
No,
a
that's
little
not-
bit.
Shut the fuck up.
It's fine. I get it, but anyway.
I think I'm striking a nerve with Brandon.
Well, we got one other animated thing I wanted to talk about this week. They released a trailer for at least the first part. This may be the whole trilogy, but I think this is just the first part trailer. But they're doing a 3-part series, animated films for Batman Nightfall. Obviously, we know the story about Bane breaking Batman's back that was done in The Dark Knight Rises and all that sort of good jazz. This is kind of along those DC animated movies titles that DC's well known for. That's one of some of their best stuff. So let's check out this trailer. We'll talk about it. So here you go.
Gotham City needs Batman.
Batman, you haven't slept since Arkham exploded 2 days ago. Maybe we should ask John Paul for help. His training is coming along.
We're all that stands between those inmates and the fall of Gotham.
They say you are the greatest detective. And yet you did not see this coming. I intend to break you.
Then give it your best shot.
Let chaos reign in Gotham.
We have to help Batman.
Suit up.
Well, that's a gritty new look for the Dark Knight.
Something else is going on out there.
Come get some!
The guilty must pay.
Okay, that was dope.
Ooh.
Now, we don't know the exact release date of the first part. The first part is supposed to debut sometime this year. Now, I do believe it is being shown at the Annecy Animation Festival that took place this week, which is why we're going to have all these animated story topics here in just a second. But so, yeah, this is kind of what's been going. That's why they released the trailer online. But I'm looking forward to seeing the entire 3 parts and see what happens there. But like I said, we've seen the Bane stuff before and other things, but whatever.
Is it just me?
Mhm.
And it might just be me here.
Mhm.
But I feel like a lot of time, especially with comic books, it's way more enjoyable for it to be done like this in animated form.
Yeah, there's
You
things
know
you
what I
can
mean?
do that you can't do in live action.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't appreciate the live action shit, but I feel like I don't know, maybe it's because I'm still a big kid at fucking heart and I love cartoons.
Sure.
But at the same time, like I feel like a lot of times with animated stuff, it's way more enjoyable and palatable. And there's a way to do animated stuff where you could do it to where it appeals to an adult audience, not just for kids. But I think the stigma of it being animated, you just associate it because you call it a cartoon with a kid shit.
Right.
But
That's
you
dark
could
stuff.
tell a darker story.
Sure.
Here's one thing I've learned over the last, I don't know, 15, 16 years. Because I watched a lot of, shit. So like I also got into just like everybody else did at one point, Power Rangers, but then I found where they came from. So in Japan, where a lot of these stuff that we get from them is Americanized, right? So you lose a lot of the context. So now you see all this bubbly, and it makes it corny when you see it. Like, but you don't realize like the original adaptation of this shit it's a very dark story. And a lot of, it deals with a lot of, because they're called dramas is what they are. So they have this feel to them. And I think like with animated stuff, you can do that and it come off as it would if you did it live action, but you have more freedom with the animation. Now it may cost more. I don't fucking know. There may be a price difference between the two, whether it's live action or animated.
Yeah, I think it's far cheaper to do animate. And I'm not saying it's like cheap, but it's definitely cheaper.
But you have more freedom to do things that way too.
Yeah.
Like if you do it animated. And I think again, from the last two that you've shown, you could have, if that was live action, you could have got the same result.
Sure.
As far as like the story you're telling and the visuals you're laying out, you could have done that live action.
Yeah.
But in animation, it just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if Matt froze to get it up, but that face is wild.
That face is crazy.
So I don't know if he
looks like one of those howler monkeys that they show in like wintertime and they're in a hot spring and their head's above. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, he had to fix that.
For sure. Even Aaron don't have that problem. But yeah, you're right. I agree with you. Like, I mean, and like you said, to those people who think, oh, it's just a cartoon, it's not for adults. Watch any DC animated movie from the last 15, 20 years.
They're pretty great.
That stuff is very dark. Don't be wrong. I guess kids can't watch, but there's a lot of blood and gore in a lot of those versions and stuff. So definitely don't assume that just because it's for cartoons, it's just for kids these days. Animation is for all ages.
But both of these look good, though, by the way.
Oh, agreed. And then, of course, this week, since I said that animation festival was going on, we got more announcements from DC on their animated side. They're now officially doing an Absolute Batman series. It'll be a fully CG animated show run by Scott Snyder, who will serve as showrunner, and Nick Dragotta will be a producer on this. And for those of you who don't know, this is kind of what the comic version of the character looked like here. So yeah, this is going to be, what the hell is that face? That was his Joker. But anyway, good God. That broke Brandon. Good job, Troll. Yeah, so he heard the discourse clearly, but so yeah, so
I'm sorry.
Between just these three alone, we've gotten now 3 different versions of Batman before we've even gotten one version of Batman in the DCU yet. Not to mention Robert Pattinson's version. So there's so many
Batman though.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a dark story.
Is that a mallet or what is, or an axe? What
it's
is
like
that?
an axe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be something.
Have you never seen or read anything about Absolute Batman?
No, it's a little foreign to me.
Listen, do yourself a favor and just do some, even if it's cursory research on Absolute Batman. You won't be disappointed.
Or some of the comics, I guess you could say. But
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this when this comes out for sure. I mean,
it's a different take on Batman, and not really a different take. See, Batman's one of those characters, like, because he lives by this moral code. Loki, can you give me a second? I'm having a conversation. He lives by this moral code But what happens if you strip that away? It's kind of like what they did with Brightburn, where it's the story of like, it's not really specified because they can't say Superman, but it's like, what happens if Superman decided to fuck it, and became a serial killer? Or what happened? The Injustice storyline, like what happens if Superman decides that I can do this better and does it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So with Absolute Batman, it's like one of those, what if I just don't live by a code? You know what I mean?
Interesting. That's the one thing I do commend DC on for a lot of years. They're not going to always just stick to, it's got to be PG or PG-13. They will go hard R if it requires it based on the story they're telling.
Give me 1 second to situate my dog.
Okay, you're fine. I'll continue on with the story here. But we're also getting some more animated shows from DC. One is going to star the Joker. It's going to be called Joker Laugh Riot. The series will follow the Joker as he launches a ruthless crusade through Gotham's underworld to discover Batman's killer. Because again, we've talked about how if a Joker or if Batman were to ever be killed, Joker is the one who would want to do it. So it would make sense if Joker or if Batman was killed, Joker would want to find out who and why he did it to Batman, because that was his overall goal if he was to ever kill him, even though Joker usually wants to keep Batman alive so he can continue to have fun with him. So this could be very interesting too. We'll see how that plays out. And then of course we're also officially getting a Crypto animated show as well. The series will follow Crypto as he tags along with a gang of misfit criminal wannabes who live down the block. So again, all these different animated series coming down the line here for DC. So that on top of the series that they already have currently in development or ongoing, which there's a My Adventures of Superman show still currently going on, a Harley Quinn series that's kind of still going on. We don't know if those shows are going to come to an end or not. DC Studios has already announced a Starfire, Mr. Miracle, Superpowers, My Adventures with Green Lantern, and of course we've getting ready for season 2 of Creature Commandos. So this DC animated side of things with the Nightfall and of course Cape Crusader all involved with this. So much different stuff to watch if you're a DC fan. Marvel's not offering this many animated shows. They've got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, they've got X-Men 97, Marvel Zombies, and What If there for a while. It might be one or two I'm missing there, but they've not got this many. And the ones, these, we don't know which ones of these are all going to tie into the DCU yet. We do know that Mr. Miracle will. I think Starfire will too, because there's a report on it here in just a minute we're going to get into. But Mr. Miracle, they already said whoever was cast in that show would be playing their counterparts in live action. So there are also rumors going around that with Mr. Miracle, they're going to cast Darkseid, which is the DCU's version kind of Thanos. So if they do that in Mr. Miracle, Darkseid is going to show up in the DCU as one of the big bads going forward. So we'll see if that ends up playing out or not. But of course, with all these different shows coming down the pike with Starfire, there's now reports stating that DC Studios has announced that Lobo will in fact appear in Starfire. So if Lobo's in it and Lobo shows up in Supergirl, it makes you think Starfire and probably Mr. Miracle at least will all tie into the DCU as well. Did you hear what I said about Darkseid and
yeah, I got it.
Cool, gotcha. So what do you think about all these different animated shows coming down the line? Well, now we'll get into the movie side of it in just a second, but at least on the animated side of stuff, may tie into the movies overall going forward. Some of it,
awesome.
not all of it will, but some of it will. Could add to the lore. But
yeah,
so more recent reviews.
No, that's good. I think for especially DC, their animated stuff gives them more of a gateway. Since they really don't have really episodical shit like this as far as live action goes, on the front where Marvel does. And that's partially because Marvel has that Disney backing. So like they have the extra capital to bullshit like this off. But again, for a franchise that I enjoy more than I do Marvel, they're kind of hand in hand, but like if you're I'm more of a DC fan than I am a Marvel fan.
Sure.
In that aspect. Like I can appreciate it more, and I would love to see this stuff. So I'm cool with it.
I just want to know for sure which ones tie into the overall movies and all that sort of stuff too, and the live action TV. Obviously, like I said, Starfire, Mr. Miracle, Creature Commandos is supposed to at some point. And the Crypto, I imagine, probably would, just because the dog's in both the movies so far. But absolute Batman, I feel like Joker, Laugh Riot. Maybe My Adventures with Lanterns might, but may not. It depends on what the Lantern Show does and stuff like that too. So it'll be interesting to see more details of that coming down the pipe. But yeah, and release dates. When's all this coming? You know, like I expect a lot of this in next year at least, probably. But
did you say like what the My Adventures with Green Lantern, what that pertains to, or is there any details on that?
There is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There was I mean, I don't know if it's new details, but we had talked about it maybe in passing before, but it's supposed to focus on a different lantern than I think the main three, as it were. Okay, here you go. This came out just the other day too, so I'm glad you mentioned it. New details on the new My Adventures with Green Lantern. The show is set in LA and Hal Jordan Memorial High. Characters like Kyle Rayner, Alex DeWitt, Nikki Jones, and Thomas Rowe will be an important part of Jessica's high school life. This centers around Jessica Cruz as she trains in a temple to understand what it means to be a Green Lantern. So yeah, so there you go. It's a new, different character, but yeah, and it's kind of got this back in here with all the animated stuff here at the event too. So yeah, that's gonna be coming in. And if that ties into the Lantern Show and what they're doing with Jon Stewart and all that sort of stuff over there, it could be great. But again, it just. The problem with animation, it seems like, especially when it comes to like Star Wars ties a lot of their animation into the live action shows and movies. Unfortunately, not everybody watches the cartoons in Star Wars. But DC has said from the jump, they said they want it to be more like Star Wars, where that stuff ties in and is relevant and important to the overall movies and the narrative. Unlike Marvel, the animation stuff's just kind of on its own little world, basically. You don't have to see it. So we'll see how that strategy works out for him, Cotton. But time will tell. But thinking of time will tell, let's get into the movie side of this real quick when it comes to the state of DC overall right now. Supergirl has now released in theaters, as debuted this weekend, and it's hovering around a 56 to 60% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. 60% is the line basically where it goes from being fresh to rotten. Anything under 60 becomes a rotten score when it comes to the critic rating. Now, it's also interesting to note here that audiences on the right side of your screen here, 75% are liking it, which means about 7.5 out of 10 people like it when they leave the screening. So that doesn't mean it's 75% good. It's 7.5 out of every 10 people like it. So it's carrying a decently positive rating, at least on Rotten Tomatoes. You can argue about the critic stuff, whether 60 is positive or 56 is negative, whatever.
I don't agree with that.
What? That it's good, or
the critics?
Oh, I got you.
I just don't agree with them.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't. And of course, everybody's online right now. It's all the DCU stands for the Dead Cinematic Universe right now. Like, because one potentially bad movie with Supergirl. Obviously, in the DCU right now, so far, it's been nothing but pretty good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, if you trust critics or just these ratings in general, a lot of people don't, and I don't either for the most part. But 95%, 94% for Peacemaker and Creature Commandos, 83% for Superman last year, and Supergirl around 57 or 60, however you want to look at it. And they're saying, oh, it's the worst, comic book movie in decades here. The script is so terrible. But if it's so terrible, why is Supergirl still outperforming Man of Steel, which is almost got the exact same rating as Man of Steel, by the way. And all these Snyder fans and all these diehard DC fans who don't like James Gunn's version want them to go back to Henry Cavill's Superman. If it's so bad and it's got the same rating as Man of Steel, what are you complaining about then?
I think they just don't like James Gunn.
I think they just want Henry Cavill back, and I don't be wrong. I loved Henry Cavill's Superman too, to a degree. I don't think he was necessarily the best interpretation of Superman. It was a darker, grittier version, but again, with the first two movies of the DCU at 83%, 90% audience rating for Superman and then Supergirl, going up against Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, which did horribly with critics. It was only so, I guess 63% with audiences. At this point, only two movies in both universes. Right now, the new DCU under James Gunn is at least on par or even better than the old DC EU. So this doom and gloom, I don't know if I fully buy at this point. Now, I have heard the script for Supergirl isn't great. I've heard that the villain is pretty bad, but how many MCU movies, especially in phase 1 of the MCU, did not have good villains? Or the Dark Elves, anybody? For Thor the Dark World after Avengers 1? That was more phase 2, but I digress. But it's just this whole discourse is a stark reminder that we've completely lost the ability to talk about these movies like normal people. If a comic book movie isn't a masterpiece, it's suddenly the worst movie ever made, and everyone involved should be embarrassed of themselves. Are people actually reacting to the movie anymore, the actual film, or just the narrative surrounding it? It's a girl movie. Oh my God. And to be fair, that if I was running the DCU, I probably would not have made Supergirl the second movie in the series. I probably would have waited until I established Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash and Green Lanterns first.
I don't have a problem with it.
She is still one of the core members of the Superman family, which is going to get more of a shine next year in Man of Tomorrow. But like I said, if everybody wants to say this movie's, and I will say it's not going to make a lot of money because it's already kind of having some slow opening day things. And like I said last week, it's stuck between Toy Story and Minions. So it's not going to do well at the box office. But if a lot of people who are leaving it saying it's actually not too bad, but some people don't like it too. So it's
that's what I don't believe, Eric. I don't believe that because you got Toy Story,
which is making bank right now.
So
will Minions,
and so will Minions. So I think what is happening is you've got a movie here that's kind of being stuck by two different movies that are in the box office at the same time.
Sure.
And I think it's kind of giving you a kind of a smoke and mirrors effect. And it kind of reminds me of when like Spider-Man 2 came out. And everybody was like really excited for Spider-Man 2.
Which one? You talking about Andrew Garfield's?
No. But maybe, I think so. It's the one, Andrew Garfield's.
The one that bombed eventually? Yeah.
It eventually tanked.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was, you got two different movies that were kind of coming around at the same time.
I don't remember, but yeah.
But that's one of those two that like it suffers in the beginning, right? But then all of a sudden it becomes a cult classic. Like where people even with this movie, again, if I listened to critics, then I would have never watched the original, the newest Superman movie. I just never watched it. Like everything.
But even it got decent reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, at least. So I mean, but a lot of people say they didn't like it too. And that may be a personal preference. But it wasn't $1 billion movie, but it still made 600 million plus, which these days is decent. These days. I mean,
like I still want to see the movie. I'd rather watch it and judge it for myself than not watch it because of what critics think. And again, you know me, I don't do critics anyway. So
a lot of times critics have agendas and things too. If it don't push a certain thing, they don't like. Now I trust audience ratings more than I do the critics. So when an audience says 7 out of 10 people liked it walking out of the theater, okay. Now, like I said,
I may be one of those 7.
And I have heard that the script is maybe pretty bad, but which has got a lot of people upset at James Gunn, who originally stated when the DCU started, we're not even going to greenlight a movie until the script is great. So it makes him kind of look like, okay, now you're just saying.
Yeah, but what's bad with the script?
I don't know. That's the thing. I got to check. I'm going to go watch it Sunday, so we'll see how it looks.
Is it pacing? Is it timing? Like what's bad with the script?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people says it feels like they've cut some stuff out, and maybe like it's been a little bit edited in the editing bay, which is interesting because the director Craig Gillespie come out this week and says there is, quote, a 3-hour hard R cut of Supergirl. He said, quote, James Gunn made me cut most of it with enough fan support. Maybe one day it will see the light of day. So if assuming this quote is true, I'm going to say that
we get a James Gunn cut, like your Snyder cut movie.
Yeah, well, which is also ironic because the Snyder cut fans are always like, give us a Snyder cut. And now the director, Craig Gillespie, is saying there's actually a 3-hour cut that would explain why some of this is a little disjointed because I had to cut so much. So it's ironic. But again, it's never good when your director's coming out and saying, all right, well, I've got a better version of this that I wasn't allowed to release due to time constraints, basically. So that's not good either. So there may be some merit, obviously, to the reports that it's maybe not a great film. But to me, it's just like, I'm going to these things just to hopefully have a good time. I also don't think that one movie makes a bad franchise. Like, so we're still early on in the DCU. It's not good to start with a mixed reviewed movie with Superman, at least, even though it seems like most people did enjoy it. And then now you've got one that's going to be very mixed or to negative. But if Man of Steel can hit, well, Clayface is next. You got Lanterns coming out, which I really hope is good. Then if Man of Steel hits and the Batman Part 2 hits, like most people does next year, DC's right back on track. So I don't think Supergirl is going to kill the DCU, even if it is as bad as some people suggest. But you definitely don't want to have a whole lot of these bad ones back to back to back to back. So, and with James Gunn's contract initially running, I guess the initial contract is supposed to run out next year in 2027. If Man of Tomorrow doesn't do well, Paramount may be like, yeah, we're going to move on in a different direction.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to reboot the entire franchise. We may take the actors and pieces that work and still try to make it work moving forward with somebody else behind the creative. And from everything I'm hearing, despite the Supergirl's issues, I've heard that Millie Alcock as the character is great, and I've heard Jason Momoa as Lobo is great. So at least if nothing else, you can take those two characters and put them in maybe a better story later on, and they'll work out great. So hopefully, at least we've got some good pieces to build on here. But there is pressure on Man of Tomorrow next year. If it doesn't hit and hit big with Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart in it, Supergirl's in it, Superman and Lex Luthor. It's supposed to introduce some other characters, maybe even a Wonder Woman. Hopefully we'll get a Batman cameo in there to kind of build things moving forward too. If they do all that and it still fails, DC's got a problem. But I'm not ready to call DCU dead yet, myself personally. You guys got any other thoughts, or what do you think on where we're standing?
I will call it dead.
Of course you would. But yeah.
No, I mean, again, if we go by this, then what's the point of watching movies and franchise movies then? Think about Star Wars in that regard, or even Marvel with some of their movies that were fucking disasters.
Oh yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, anybody? Thor Love and Thunder, anybody? They've had some poopers.
First of all, I liked Love and Thunder.
Thor was not a pooper.
A lot of people hated it, but I don't hate that movie. But it's a step down from Ragnarok, but
sure. If we're comparing
it,
if we're going to compare it to other fucking Thor movies, fine, sure, yeah, we could definitely do that.
Some people argue it's better in Dark World, though, maybe depending on your taste.
Again, Dark World got shitted on heavily, and yet, so it is what it is. Like,
it is.
I'd see it.
That I hate this whole narrative. If the movie doesn't make $1 billion, it's a failure. Do you know the amount of movies throughout the entire history of the world has actually cracked $1 billion? It's like less than 50, I think, or less than 100.
The amount of movies that make back what they put into it.
Yeah.
And yet some of those same movies are still cult classics nowadays, nostalgia trips that you'll still go back and watch, or if it's on and it catches your attention, you'll sit there and fucking watch it, even though you sat there and said, no, this movie was ass, but yet you watched it.
Yeah. And it's because this could be just one of those things that, because of where it was set in between Toy Story and Minions, families may just be like, we'll wait for streaming on this one.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And maybe it'll do gangbusters there. Maybe it won't. But yeah, I do agree. If Man of Tomorrow doesn't hit, they may have an issue. But even then, I think you could take the good pieces and maybe still make something good out of it moving forward. But like I said, if Mr. Miracle, whenever that comes out, is introducing Darkseid, that tells me they've got a full-blown plan. Because that is a big level threat, like Thanos, still type level, maybe even bigger than Thanos. But if that's where you're going,
wait, no. If you're talking about Darkseid isn't a Thanos. I get Thanos is
that's kind of where it's
strong
compared
or whatever,
to, is all I'm saying.
But like, no, if we're talking about Darkseid here, Darkseid is what you would call comparatively, I guess, in a sense. He'd be more of a Galactus thing, but even then, he's even stronger than that.
Yeah, see, I just say that because people compare them, but yeah, you're right. There is a difference for sure. And Brainiac next year is no slouch either. Yeah, but we may get more details on what the big bad is and Lanterns, which was supposed to kind of feed into the overall narrative they said that they're building towards. So I think we just need to be patient with DC. You got to understand, when Marvel first come out, Iron Man hit, yes, but Iron Man 2 was mixed.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be honest. Incredible Hulk, very mixed to negative. Then Thor and Captain America come out, hit pretty well, and then Avengers, obviously. But And then they even struggled a little bit with Iron Man 3. Granted, it was $1 billion movie, but Thor: The Dark World wasn't that great. So there were some slow moments in MCU's history too. So I think you just need to give it a little time. What's that?
Avengers 2 really sucked.
Well, I actually like that movie, but yeah, there were some people who didn't even like that. I'm going, and that's a fun movie. So I just think people need to calm down. If it's not like this outstanding masterpiece or $1 billion, it's a failure. No, it's just that studios got to understand it may not make the money you're putting into it. Maybe you need to start making these things for cheaper.
What was the Batman that was not Robert Pattinson?
Which there's a lot of them.
the other Batman, the one that they came out with. And,
you gotta be more specific, dude. There's like 6 other Batmans. Which one are you talking about?
It was the one where it was Batman versus Superman.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I don't see Ben Affleck being Bruce Wayne.
So
yeah, he was. Yeah,
I had my own issues with that one simply because there
Story
was
wasn't
a
great.
story that was better told in Injustice that you could have just adapted to the film instead of just taking pieces from that fucking story and inserting them.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, and I get like, we want to cherry pick certain stories and make them fit into your story you're trying to tell. But sometimes it's just best to tell the story as it's actually made to be written. Don't cherry pick like that because you can ruin the overall story. And some people may think that's what they did with Supergirl because remember, it was supposed to be based on the Woman of Tomorrow comic. And it may be loosely based, but I've heard it's not the exact same as the comic too. So that may be part of the problem we're having right now as well. So, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. But I just think everybody just needs to be patient with it. A couple of super chats here if we were moving on to rapid fire. Mike said there was a wrestler in the 1990s on the Independence named Solomon Grundy. Had a hillbilly gimmick. There's actually a video of a young Yokozuna wrestling him on WWE Vault's YouTube channel. Really? Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. That'd be a big man match right there.
He sucks about a hillbilly Solomon Grundy. I imagine this guy just on the ring mat just playing his banjo.
Brother. Yeah. Maybe he can team up with Hillbilly Jim.
Brandon. By the way, my dad started his banjo lesson. He's really good at it now.
Nice.
That's very cool. I'd have him play us a ditty for sure.
Oh, wow.
Then Mike also said, when or will we see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles make an appearance in this DCU? I doubt it. I know there was there's actually an animated movie where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think, versus Batman or whatever it was. I think they team up or whatever. But yeah, and there's a comic book run, but I don't think. Well, I don't know though. The fact that you mentioned that Paramount does own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Paramount's the one who just bought Warner Brothers with DC. So never say never, I guess you could say. But I don't think it's any time.
If we did, I think it'd be more animated. I don't think we're getting a live action.
Yeah, that might be a little too far. But I mean, then you could say, well, when's the Transformers going to? I mean, because they're also owned by Paramount. You could do G.I. Joe and DC. I mean, you could, but yeah, I think wouldn't mind seeing it anime, but I don't know if I need to see it in the main DCU timeline. You know what I mean? So unless it's some multiverse thing they're doing, that could be interesting too. But we'll see. All right, well, let's get into the rapid fire stuff here. We got a few things I want to talk about here real quick outside of DC. Obviously, like I said, some of the animated stuff that's going on right now. We know Toy Story 5 is currently in theaters. We now have a quote from the director, Andrew Stanton, who suggests that Bonnie's story, the child who now has the toys in the 4 and 5 episodes, he says that Andy, the kid from the first 3 films who had all the toys, had a perfect trilogy. He wants to see the same for Bonnie, the young girl. So that it suggests that they're going to be doing a Toy Story 6 to kind of complete Bonnie's trilogy. I also heard a report this week that they want to do the completion of Bonnie's trilogy and then do a 7th film to do a final special finale for the entire franchise. So 7's kind of more of a rumor at this point, but it sounds like 6 is happening to end the franchise with Bonnie's trilogy, at least in that regard. So would you want to, I mean, obviously I've still not seen Toy Story 5 yet. I've heard it's good. Again, Buzz and Woody take a little bit more of a backseat, I hear this time. A lot of you probably already seen it already, but so that makes me a little concerned, but I don't know. I mean, I trust what they've done through 1 through 4 so far. So 6, the problem they're going to have is they got Tim Allen and Tom Hanks are not getting any younger. Neither is Joan Cusack, who voices Jesse. So it's I've heard they're putting this on a fast rush to get this out by I think 2030 for 6 and 2032 maybe for episode 7, if they do it. So what are your thoughts on maybe having 6 or 7 total before this is all said and done?
Sure, I guess. Like
Disney equals more money. That's
yeah. Yeah,
kind of. But
That's
as long as
kinda
the
what it
story is
is.
good, yeah, it is. I mean, because Toy Story is one of those franchises, despite the fact that some fans have lost interest, and I think maybe Aaron and a couple of you maybe thought after maybe should have ended at 3, and I don't disagree in a lot of ways, but it still makes
Mhm.
money for them. And some of these other movies that take losses, like The Mandalorian and Grogu, or maybe some of the Marvel stuff here lately, Toy Story right now will make up for those losses during that year. So that at least makes financial sense in the long run. So we'll see what they end up doing, but it sounds like you're getting at least a Toy Story 6 here within the next 5 or 6 years, I'd say, probably, or probably maybe next 4
Mhm.
years or so. We also know we talked about Masters of the Universe bombing at the box office. Well, and I know at the time Brandon mentioned, well, why don't they do a Thundercats movie? Well, they are doing a Thundercats movie. The catch is Warner Brothers is doing it animated, though. So, thoughts on Thundercats
That's
getting
fine.
an animated film? You think it'll be all right?
It'll be cheaper.
For sure.
And then
And
you don't
the
have to
risk
worry
is
about your
less.
overhead as much.
I don't know if this means
Mhm.
it'll be like, streaming or go to theaters. Um, I don't know. I just
Mm.
don't. I know
Probably
this
streaming. I think
nostalgia will
your
be there.
safe bet would be streaming.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably not wrong there. I get what you can out of it, but yeah, I just don't know if this will
Mhm.
work in live action now with Masters of the Universe taken. But interesting to see that they're at least going to try to do it this way. So we'll see how it ends up going. But I just don't remember. Is it just me? I don't remember a whole lot about this. I know you're a fan of it or was. Do
Yeah,
you
I used
remember
to
a lot
watch
of details?
Thundercats all the time. Like, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
need to do a refresher course on this. Or,
You should.
yeah,
It's
well,
actually really good. It was a really good show.
right on. Well, I'll have to give it a chance and see what happens there. We also got our first look at the animated series Ghostbusters Night Shift that we talked about a couple weeks back or whatnot. We also now know that the show will take place 5 years after Ghostbusters 2 and will follow a new group of scrappy young heroes. So this will take place between 2 and Afterlife, which had a big gap in between. So yeah, I'm interested to see. I think this shot looks incredible. So if they animate it like this and you got some cool looking ghosts and stuff, I mean, maybe this ends up being pretty good. I don't know, but at least we got our first look at it. So that gives me a little bit of encouragement there too. We also, I know Brandon like this. Invincible has been confirmed to have season 6 coming our way. I
Brother,
didn't realize
if you've never watched this fucking show, do yourself a favor and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
I plan to.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah,
it really is really good.
Well, I have to definitely. I got to start all the way from the very beginning though, so I ain't gonna be jumping to this.
You won't be disappointed.
Episode.
You won't.
Yeah,
even if
yeah.
that's the case, you won't be disappointed.
All right, well, I'll take your word on that. I definitely plan on doing that sometime soon, so we'll see what happens. Another animated series is coming out next week on July 1st, next Wednesday, I believe, is X-Men 97 Season 2. We now have the official episode release dates. The first 3 episodes are released on Wednesday next week, and then, of course, we'll have 1 episode a week after that until mid-August. So this will run past Spider-Man Brand New Day on Disney+. So it looks like, about 9 episodes to this season, too. So looking forward to this. I wouldn't mind even watching the first season again before we get to this, but I don't know if I have time to do it or not. But yeah, definitely a great series. I highly recommend it. And as of right now, or at least 2 days ago, it had a Rotten Tomatoes score of 100%. So, and that's basically what the first season had. So, and there's supposed to be 4 seasons at least so far that we know of coming down the pipe for X-Men 97. So, if you're into X-Men animated shows, this is for you. No doubt about it. Can't wait. And also in Marvel, we got news that Elodie Yung, who played Elektra in Daredevil on Netflix, will be returning in Daredevil Born Again Season 3 alongside all the other Defenders like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, as well as Iron Fist. So they're getting the Defenders together again for Season 3 of Born Again. So there are many Avengers down there in the streets of New York coming up next year. So looking forward to seeing Elektra again as well. I wonder if that'll tie into the ninja angle in the Spider-Man Brand New Day movies or not. We'll have to wait and see with the Hand potentially making an appearance there. We'll see, but good to see her coming back. We also got confirmation that the Donkey spinoff movie starring Eddie Murphy officially is got a release date now, June 30th, 2028. And of course, Eddie Murphy is confirmed to return as the lovable ass, as it were. And I'm not going to lie to you. Is that going to be a missed opportunity if the movie is not called Donkey, a big ass adventure?
Brother, that's good.
I mean, come on. It prints itself, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's good.
I hope so. The movie is supposed to center around Donkey, of course, and the film will be an origin story of how Donkey became Donkey. So I guess we'll find out how he learned to speak and all that sort of. And of course, he hasn't shut up since. But either way, this could be fun. And of course, it comes out. You got Shrek 5 next June 30th in 2027. Exactly a year later, you're going to get the Donkey movie. So they're starting to build back things up over there with DreamWorks too. Obviously, with Supergirl coming out this weekend, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Jackass, the 5th movie, Best and Last, also comes out this weekend in theaters. And from all reports that are going around, it is doing very well in the Rotten Tomatoes score as well, having the highest rating of the entire series. It debuted at 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now it's around 88%. But that is getting higher ratings than a lot of movies out right now. A lot of that could be nostalgia, emotional send-off type thing. But either way, I mean, Jack, good on them, man, for having a big send-off to what is going to be their last Jackass film. So looking forward to seeing what they do with the whole crew there and see how all that plays out. And of course, that means since we will not have a show next week due to the 4th of July holiday, that means we are now less than 1 week away until Minions and Monsters releases next Wednesday for the 4th of July weekend. And as the reports come out that George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, has actually been cast as a voice of some character in the movie. I imagine it's probably not a very big role, but he's already, I guess, talking about what his role will be like in the next movie. So I guess he's looking forward to doing more of this character. But good on George to getting involved with this. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. I don't know if I'll see Minions and Monsters in theaters, but looking forward to see what our lovable minions get involved with here with all these monsters. So what are your thoughts on Minions and Jackass? And
I've watched all of them, all the Despicable Me movies. I've seen all of the Minions movies. There's no difference of what I'll probably go and see this too. And as far as Jackass goes, I may watch when that comes to streaming. I don't know if I'll go to the theater to watch Jackass, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I will either. I think this weekend is Supergirl for me, and then next weekend I'll be busy with family, so I don't necessarily see me going to see a lot of these movies. Unfortunately, there's just so many at one time. I wish they'd sparse them out a little more throughout the year, but most people want to go during the summer. I understand, but there's sometimes just not enough time to catch everything, unfortunately. And in a way, then the pocketbook too is kind of hard to do as well. So, yeah, and I think that's all I had that's all I had for movies tonight. So, well, Matt disappeared. He did say when his brother got home, he was going to go say hi to him real quick. So he might be back, but we'll see what happens there with Matt. But me and Brandon got this. This kind of reminds me of the old days of remember when me and you used to just do the shows together and that was it. Yeah. So we're used to this so too. As long as the internet holds out, knock on wood. I think Aaron just fell asleep. He dropped off. I didn't even remove him. So
no, he dropped off. He was probably dead ass tired.
He gone. Well, I was hoping Matt would be here for the next part here. We got some sports news, a couple things. Actually, only got 3 more stories and we're done for tonight. So believe it or not. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So let's get into the sports real quick. Here we go. Okay, in the world of sports, only 2 little stories here. Well, I don't know if this was kind of a big story, but and again, this is not me being biased as an Indiana sports fan here, or nothing like that at all. But Caitlin Clark, obviously the big prospect, I believe out of Iowa, if I'm not mistaken, is definitely making waves, as it were, I guess you could say, in the WNBA. And of course, ever since she arrived at the WNBA, of course, the ratings have gone through the roof, revenue is up, all that sort of good jazz. But it doesn't seem like they're taking care of their potentially best player here in the WNBA, as Alyssa Thomas of the Phoenix Mercury was assessed with a flagrant 2 foul and a 1-game suspension this week after an incident that took place on the court. Did you see this at all, Brandon, or no?
No, I didn't see it happen.
Okay.
Like in real time. No, I just saw the pictures and
the replay
and video after.
Well, for those of you wondering here, Alyssa Thomas is the lady on top of Clark here. Here it is on the left in the video. What happened? Remember, this was not called as a foul during the game. So here you go.
Caitlin to the ground, and that's a hand to the neck, and then Alyssa Thomas.
And here's another shot of it.
Caitlin to the ground.
Now, it's also worth noting here a couple things. Number one, you can't see it too well on this video. I didn't find the greatest. Alyssa Thomas also, before this happened, as it was going down, she kneed Caitlin Clark in the crotch as well. And then, of course, she, as she's trying to get up here, she pretty blatantly, as you can see, puts her fist right on Clark's neck. And it's also worth noting here, I believe the girl right next to her, I believe her name is Dewana Boner, I think. That sounds like a joke.
That's wild.
It's either Boner or Bauer. I'm sorry. But either way, I believe is the girlfriend of Alyssa Thomas here. So let's also keep that in mind too. But yeah, either way, that's kind of inconsequential. But putting your fist on the throat like this seemed pretty intentional to me, which has got everybody, all up in arms about how they're protecting their players here in the WNBA. It's not just Caitlin Clark. There's been a bunch of people who got black eyes and been brutalized, but nobody like Caitlin Clark has been taking the abuse that she's been taking. So much so that her head coach, Stephanie White, said, "We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. I just say again, it's absolutely unacceptable." She also went on to state, "They were so egregious. I mean, a fist in the throat is crazy. It's so crazy. It's dangerous." And it even got people, throughout the entire world talking about this, just like, should the WNBA be protecting their players, especially one of their biggest stars, from getting brutalized like this? I mean, Caitlin Clark has been elbowed and, basically all sorts of different things. She should probably be wearing this as a uniform, to be quite honest with you, to protect her lately. And of course, it's got a lot of people speculating, which I don't, whether you think it's this or not, it's got a lot of people speculating whether or not this is a race thing, because she's white and and a lot of girls she's had run-ins with in the WNBA have been African American or black or whatever you want to call them. So I don't know if that's the entire issue, or maybe they're just jealous of the talent. I don't know. So I'm not going to speculate on that, but it does make people kind of think, because let's be honest, if this was reversed, I think the suspension would have been more than just 1 game, and the foul would have been called on the court. It wouldn't have been ignored. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a media, firestorm had they not done something more about this. So a lot of people are complaining about the 1 game suspension. Then of course you got James Woods online saying eventually they will kill or cripple her. Then their ratings will go back to 0, which again, WNBA was not doing well before Caitlin Clark got to the organization. And then Tim Burchett in Congress also stated 12 pounds is all it takes to crush your windpipe. So it really puts it into perspective. While it may not look like a whole lot, that combined with the knee to the crotch, I'm sure she's not feeling great right here in this photograph. And of course, she ended up leaving the game later with a back injury. Not only that, this is even more disgusting, if you ask me. The Phoenix Mercury official X account tweeted this, basically making light of the entire situation of Caitlin Clark being injured. And then, of course, the Phoenix Mercury, after they got the backlash from everybody about it, deleted this. So, again, this is just disgusting sort of mentality here. What's it going to take? Caitlin Clark getting crushed by an anvil, and they're still not going to call a foul on it. So, I mean, of course, to give credit to the Babylon Bee, always kind of doing their best to make light of serious situations here. But yeah, this is just, it makes you wonder. And then, of course, the WNBA released a 30th anniversary poster this last week or so, and Caitlin Clark, who is arguably one of the most popular players they've ever had, is not on the poster anywhere. 30 years worth, not at all. So again, the hate is real. Whether, I just don't understand where it's coming from here. But at what point, when the WNBA as an organization doesn't protect its players and keeps failing them, especially in her case, at what point do they just walk away? I mean, because why would you want to take this abuse? Not to mention she's injured, and as of this weekend, she will not be playing in this weekend's game. She's officially out with a back injury, with the no timetable for return last I checked. And the viewership has gone up to 1.81 million before her injury last year, and she was banged up some last year too, and it dropped to 847,000 when she was out. So that's like 1 million viewers. So, I mean, if you're not going to protect your commodities, what are we doing here? So, do you have any thoughts on this? I know it's just crazy to me. I don't understand why why the hatred is so real for this woman, who's, from all I can just tell, is someone who's just a fierce competitor and is a good player. I mean,
it's a bit of column A and a bit of column B. But I don't understand how you're right in that aspect of, like, she's the reason why you got viewers.
Yeah.
She's the reason why a lot of people turn to watching the WNBA.
She's also the reason why a lot of these players who are beating her up right now, that they're getting more money. Because if it wasn't for her, the demand for their wages wouldn't have gone up. So got to consider that aspect of it. Merchandise sales, just everything in general with the WNBA is up with her involvement. So
if she leaves and they go back to where they were and they wonder where their salary cuts come from and all that, you did it to yourself.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, because I'm not totally sure it is. It appears like it may be about race. If it is, stop it. It shouldn't be. Like Jordan once said, stop it. Get some help. You know, like just to kind of go on with the basketball thing there. Like it shouldn't matter, guys and gals in this case. Like, and then the referees are not calling it either. So how many of them? So there's people who talk like some of the referees in this week's game were kind of had issues with Caitlin Clark back in college, maybe even. So is there some residual effect there where they're supposed to be unbiased and they're not? Like the WNBA has got to get this under control if they want to be taken seriously in any aspect.
But it seems that they don't because it's been happening since she started there. So
yeah,
they don't care.
They don't care. I don't get it. But I hope that this changes quickly because otherwise someone is going to get seriously hurt.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, and then it's going to be way worse, you know? So I don't know. It's just disgusting to me. So I hope it gets better here. I really do.
It's
Mike,
shit that a girl who just wants to be competitive and to live out her dream is just getting stifled at every fucking corner for no reason other than jealousy or whatever perceived notion that they want to have. So
I mean, I give the girl all the credit in the world for being as tough as she is because she's had to put up with a lot of this and a lot of it clearly she's having to do it solo dolo because it doesn't seem like she's getting any assistance. Maybe, I mean, obviously her team and her coach, and I believe Sophie Cunningham, as Mike mentioned here, Sophie Cunningham was hilarious pointing at that one opponent, just pissing her off more. Sophie Cunningham is another tough lady on the Indiana Fever too, has been coming to her teammates' defense a lot, even tackling a girl on one game I remember a little while back, but she kind of went viral and all that sort of stuff. So good on her teammates, at least, you know, doing the best they can, but it just shouldn't be allowed across the board. It really shouldn't. I don't care what race, color, creed, anything you are. I mean, if you're just jealous, suck it up and get better. You know, that's what competition's all about. So yeah. Before we move on to the last thing here, we'll get a couple chats here from Mike. Mike said, taking the twins to see Toy Story 5 at the Tivoli tomorrow here in town. They're excited for it. Well, good. Well, let us know what you think of it because I don't think I'll get a chance to watch it anytime soon. So I'd be curious your thoughts on it. So it should be a text or something. Let me know how it ends up going, especially let me know how the little ones like it too, for sure. Then Mike said, Matt's brother probably got home and tossed him out. That may be true. He may be on the streets somewhere in Evansville. Well, now that it's yeah. So we'll have to see how he ends up doing. But yeah, he might come back, he might not. Matt's an enigma that way. You never can tell. But anywho, last thing in sports we'll talk about here, and then we'll get into game and we'll get out of here tonight. The NFL draft. Officially, we now know the location for next year's draft. It'll take place in Washington, D.C. on April 29th through May 1st. Again, I don't necessarily want to make this political or anything, but it makes you kind of wonder how much Donald Trump had a hand in this one. After the UFC Freedom 250 was supposedly, I believe, the largest viewing UFC event in maybe history. So something's going on. And of course, you know, with the backdrop of the Capitol building or the Washington Monument here, these are obviously concept art of what the draft could look like. And of course, the Commanders are trying to get their new stadium built back in DC. Hopefully they'll go back to the Redskins, which would be great as well. So it's good to see that, you know, DC is getting themselves a draft. I think it could look very beautiful with all the work that they're doing with the city and all that sort of stuff. Like even with the, you know, thing here with all the trees that they've been putting in and all this sort of stuff. So it could look great. Absolutely. With the skyline and all that stuff. But yeah, so we'll see how it ends up going there with the command. I thought they maybe already knew where the city was supposed to be next year, but I guess not. So got any thoughts on DC hosting the draft? Go Jane Daniels, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
it should be an interesting, I mean, man, in Washington.
Yeah. I mean, and how much of this is, again, I don't want to make it like conspiratorial, I guess, in this regard, because I don't know if it had anything to do with it or not. But if DC's trying to get a new stadium, how much like, hey, Donald, we'll let you guys have the draft next year if you kind of put in a good word for us to get that stadium built. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Well, time will tell on that, but good on the Washington city there getting the draft for next year. So that'll be kind of fun to watch. But let's get through this season first, you know, before we get to that point.
Yeah. Let's worry about the draft next year.
Yeah, for sure. Mike also said, quick question for Ohio State, Brandon. What's your thoughts on Dusty May bailing on Michigan after winning the title?
Dusty May? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw Dusty supposedly had conflicts with the AD and told Michigan they had to choose between the two. So
business, I guess, like
business will be business, huh?
Yeah, business be business. I don't give a fuck about Michigan. Like
yeah, well, yeah, like that's the thing. Like, yeah, I guess because they're rivals. Is that why you're asking? Because he's an Ohio State guy.
Fuck about Michigan. Like,
fair enough. I mean, there you go. There's your answer. I mean, ask a question, get an answer. You know what I mean? So there you go. I mean, sure. I mean, I was sitting there thinking, yeah, it's like I couldn't make the connection. Like, what's that gonna do with Ohio State?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I got you.
Whatever happens in their sports situation, I don't give a shit.
Mike said just having some fun. That's fine. I'm just trying to figure out where the connection was there. I got no problem with having the fun part for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. The only what was the name of that player? There was a player in the NFL, or not in the NFL, it was in college, who wanted to join the NFL via a supplemental draft, but then they said the NFL draft, and now he has to wait at least until the draft.
Salisbury or Bert?
Yeah, something like that. I couldn't Soisby, yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, well, I mean, why should you get this preferential treatment? You know, go through the draft like everybody else. Personally, I mean, that's kind of the way I feel on it. But I don't know anything about the kid or anything like that. But that's just kind of what I feel about it. So
fucking name, something Sorsby.
It's like Brendan or something. Was that his name?
Brent Sorsby. Hold on.
Yeah,
I will tell you in like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
brother.
So
I don't understand what he thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was his motive there? He thought he was going to get preferential treatment over.
Oh yeah, Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, Brendan Sorsby
with an R. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like you know, you wanted to just jump right in and, you know, not go through the process everybody else has to go through. I mean, to me, it just feels kind of shady, if you ask me. So yeah, without having a supplemental draft this year, I guess he now has to officially wait for the NFL draft, which, okay, fine, you know.
Yep.
It seems fair to me. I don't know.
Get in line like everybody else, brother.
Why? Like, I don't know. There's probably more to the story I don't know. Like I said, I don't follow college as much, so forgive me. But NFL, and I ain't gonna lie to you. So the sports segment here on the show may be a little light for a few weeks because right now it's just baseball, NASCAR, and the World Cup, I think, is going on, and you know, some of that don't always appeal to me as much. So just fair warning here. Once the NFL season kicks off, though, we'll be hitting it pretty hard with football. Probably even leading up to it a little bit once we get some more news and stuff. But hey, I was just thinking the other day, after next week with the 4th of July, that's officially when I've got to get on fantasy football stuff. So it's coming. It's coming fast. Yep. So I'll be asking y'all for your keepers probably in about 2 or 3 weeks time. So, or at least getting ready to think about it. So just keep it in mind. And I'll have all the teams for you guys. So you guys will see what you got to choose from, all that sort of stuff. But Mike also said, also the NCAA has now passed a rule. Players now can only do 5 seasons stopping these players being around. Like, yeah, okay. That's, again, you should be in your, you know, mid-20s probably. Well, let's see. You probably be what? 22 when you graduate. So yeah, so you know, you should be like 25 years old when you should probably still be, you know, relatively right out of college instead of sticking around for all those years. So I don't disagree with that. But yeah, and Mike said, I'm trying to add sports stuff here. Yeah, I appreciate it. I really do. And we're going to talk gaming here in just a second. We're going to get out of here too. Then I guess he's going to go Betty by now. So, well, we appreciate you being on the show then, buddy. Thank you very much. We're going to talk a little GTA and then we're going to get out of here too ourselves. So have fun and have a safe 4th. You guys too. And for those of you who are checking out, by all means, have a safe 4th of July as well. All right, one more topic, and we'll get out of here for tonight. We'll get one little thing in here because, again, I'm excited about this game. I don't know about you, but let's talk more.
I am.
Here we go. All right, last story of the show here. Last week we talked about the cover art for GTA 6. This week, I thought we were going to get a full-blown trailer with the pre-order starting yesterday. We did not get a full-blown trailer. However, we did get a minute and 20 seconds or so of new images and a little bit of, I guess it's a little video of here what the game's going to look like. This is mostly showing off their Ultimate Edition and all the customization you could do in the Ultimate Edition here. So let's check it out real quick, and we'll talk about it. So here you go. Ooh. That looks sweet. Oh, that's dope. I want that. That's slick. All right. And like I said, pre-orders started yesterday. And we'll talk about more about the pre-orders too. But like I said, that's kind of showing off a bit of what you can expect in the Ultimate Edition of this game. And of course, we got a bunch of screenshots, and we got new details on the game in general. Apparently, the game is a one-player game in the story mode itself, and of course there's going to be the online stuff as well, there will be, but apparently in the story mode you can switch between Jason and Lucia in the open world and complete missions as a duo. Sure, there'll be some missions you got to do as the male, some as the female. NPCs will have their own daily routines, which is interesting. So if you follow them around, I guess you'll be able to see what their daily routines are. That's kind of crazy. So that's, I don't know if they'll be like on a loop, kind of like in the Truman Show, maybe, or not. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, so you're supposed to be able to interact with them and have full-blown conversations. I don't know. It's supposed to be pretty in-depth. Dynamic random events across the world, interactive establishments for deeper immersion, next-gen graphics with advanced lighting, natural animations, and highly detailed environments. In-game social media will feature viral videos, influencers, and world events on your phone. AI-powered living world with organic random encounters. I know the NPCs are supposed to have AI as well. Discover secret side missions throughout social media. Your phone streams will feature viral videos in real time. Unique abilities for each protagonist that impact gameplay and missions. This is interesting. Dynamic weather, storms, and time of day changes that will affect the physics and gameplay. A lot of that we saw with the buggy in the mud, which could make obviously more slippery and things like that. And of course, Rockstar's biggest, densest, and most ambitious map ever, which I'll show you that in a minute, what we think it'll be. And of course, it's supposed to run better on the PS5 Pro. However, it could be run on the Xbox or whatever the new series is for that. And of course, PlayStation 5. But it'll just have a better frame rate and sharper image quality on the Pro if you have one of those. And of course, we got a little bit of info on some of the pre-orders. If you pre-order this game, you will get a vintage Vice City pack. And one of the pre-order bonuses is this 55 Vapid Stanier sedan, as well as exclusive outfits and hairstyles as well. So that'll be kind of cool to get the pre-order bonus there. So, and for those of you who probably follow this game already know, the base game will cost you $80, which is about what, $10 more than a normal game these days. And the Ultimate Edition will be $100, which is only $20 more than the base game. So really, when you stop and think about it, adding an extra $20 to get all this extra stuff, it's probably going to be worth it. It's just another $20. Everybody's complaining about how expensive it is at $100. Here's the thing, though. I just bought WWE's wrestling game earlier this year. Their Ultimate Edition or Collector's Edition, it was $150, and that game was buggy as hell when the game first came out.
I don't want to hear that shit, because most of you will buy the fucking Collector's Edition of Call of Duty 4 when it comes out, and that's easily $150.
Easy. Yeah, for sure. Not to mention, I mean, look, they're giving you customizable gun grips. And I mean, the details on this is outstanding when it comes to customization, what you're going to get. Now, I'm sure there will be customization in the base game as well, but the Ultimate Edition is giving you even more, including exclusive vehicles, weapons and outfits, exclusive car modification shops, facial hair, tattoo, nail, and makeup customization, special locations, and additional activities for the characters in the story mode with the Ultimate Edition. It's kind of hard to read this here, but it's kind of got some of the other things that's coming out with the Ultimate Edition. There's really, in my opinion, no reason not to pay just an extra $20 to get all this extra stuff.
And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Then that's all shit that you don't care about.
Now, I think I did read somewhere that they're making it to where it will feel like there are certain things missing with not getting the Ultimate Edition, but it's not going to be like you can't play the game and probably customize and do other stuff. But there's going to be certain, mod shops and, tattoo parlors and all this sort of stuff that do certain things that other ones in the base game are not going to be able to do. So again, an extra $20 when you've been waiting 13 years to save $100, I don't think you got any room to complain. Not to mention $100, considering this is supposedly what the map looks like. We don't have no confirmation on this yet, but if this is indeed the actual map in the game, it is easily twice the size of GTA 5. So I don't know about you. I'd have paid $150, $200 for this.
Yeah.
Easy.
If that's the map size, that's crazy.
Because $100 for all of this is probably cheap compared to what they could have charged you and gotten away with it. And people would have paid it every dime of it because of this. These games are so well known to be such good quality. Now, the one thing people have noticed with the pre-orders, at least, a couple things they got mad at. Number one, well, three things with the price. Some people got mad about that. Get over it. Number two, if you don't look closely when you pre-order, you need to understand you are also signing up for GTA Plus when you pre-order right now. Now, let's be honest, because if you look here, it's not really even in the fine print. It's right there at the top, the standard edition, 1 month of GTA Plus for free. They're giving you 1 month free trial of GTA Plus, which is basically they add an extra $500,000 into your bank in the game once a month for every month that you continue to use GTA. But they give you special cards every month, things like that. Your access to their old GTAs and Red Dead Redemption game catalog. You can get all that sort of stuff. So it's a $10 a month thing after the first month. But when you sign up for the pre-order, if you don't want it, you can cancel it in the first month and you don't even have to pay for it ever. But if you don't know you're signing up for it, you won't know to cancel it, and you will be charged $10 a month after. So just bear that in mind when you sign up for the pre-order. So
is it $10?
That's what I read on Google. I don't know. I heard it was $8.
Because it was $6. Because I had GTA Plus when we were playing 5. And that's how I was getting all those cars and all that other shit too.
Gotcha. And it's supposed to give you like a larger garage and things like 100 cars.
And I was only paying $6 a month.
They may have upped it because of the release of the new game, possibly, but with it being bigger, I mean, that may be the thing.
Hell,
I don't know, but
that's the case. Then most people, when you fuckers are playing Fortnite, I know this for a fact because I have kids who were playing Fortnite. Like I was paying $12 a month for their monthly Fortnite fucking subscription. So.
Yeah. So again, it's just one of those things. I don't necessarily mind with paying the extra $10 a month or whatever. Well, I guess this one here says $8, but yeah, I did read 10 too. So it's somewhere in there. It's cheap. But to me, again, this shouldn't be as big of an issue as people are having with it. Because again, if you don't want it, just cancel in the first month. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, just turn off the auto renew.
But you need to read when you buy these things so you know what you're signing up for at the end of the day, guys. So just be very careful. But yeah, the people were mad about that. But the other thing they were mad about, which again, it just seems like we can't be happy with anything. Supergirl, this game, anything. But apparently with the pre-order, you could order it digitally, which is what most people are going to do these days. But people who want physical copy of GTA 6 were upset because they announced there will be no physical disc with the physical release. So to me, it's kind of like, why are you doing a physical release anyway? Just for the cover art and a digital code? Okay, great. Maybe there's some things that they could give away with that too. But to me, I'm like, why would you buy or physical anyway? I mean, I get it to where you have like a physical copy and like they ever took it off of PlayStation or what they won't do. But so I mean, but anyway, people got mad there's no disc. So I don't know if the backlash from that announcement or what happened, but Rockstar had to come out the day after they announced this and said, no, we're going to be doing a physical disc release, but they won't be coming out until at least December, which is about a month later, or they even said here it could be the following months. So it may not even be December, but a lot of people think it's going to be December when they finally get the physical copy of the disc involved as well. So if you want the disc copy of it, you're going to have to wait a little longer than November 19th at the digital release date.
But if you pre-order a physical copy, you will get a digital code. Reason being is because normally when they would do these, the disc would get sent out a week or so early. That means you have access to the game. That means that then leaks and everything else then come out. And they don't fucking want that.
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, I get that.
You'll still get your fucking disc and physical copy. It'll just be afterwards. You'll get people.
So if you do, if let's say you pre-order a physical copy right now, so do you only get the digital code, or do you get the digital code and then later you'll also get a disc, or do you have to pay again to get the disc?
No, you'll get the disc. It'll get either sent to you or sent to your GameStop, wherever you fucking pre-ordered it from, to go get.
Well, that makes more sense. A lot of people were acting like you know, that means I got to buy it twice or I got to wait. I'm like, if that's okay, if that's the case, you got a bit of a gripe. But
if you pre-order a physical copy, you will get on the receipt of your pre-order, you'll get the digital code for your pre-order.
So you can go ahead and play it. But I wonder if that means the save data from your digital game would transfer over to the disc copy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just when you insert the disc, and again, most of you aren't even fucking inserting disc. You're just gonna you just want the physical fucking thing.
Sure.
Whatever. It's
Well, and I kind of understand why you want the physical thing. I do, because there's another story which I thought about putting in the movie section, but I thought it worked here with PlayStation 2, so it is relevant. Apparently, PlayStation is deleting 551 purchased movies from their customers' accounts that they bought digitally on their system, which again furthers the whole idea that, you know, just because you buy it digitally does not mean it's actually yours, because this is my whole problem with streaming and things these days. If I get on Amazon Prime and I buy a movie, that just means I bought the rights to watch it on that service, Amazon. That does not mean you bought the film. This is why people who use the high seas, as it were, or they want Blu-rays and digital or DVDs, this is why they're so mad that you're trying to take away the physical copies, because now we're at the beck and call of these companies saying, okay, well, you know, we're going to switch over to Netflix. So the movie you bought here, you can't have now because we gave the rights away. That's a problem for consumers. And it doesn't seem like it's ever going to get better, because remember, you will own nothing and be happy about it, apparently, in these people's eyes. And of course, and again, I don't know how true this was. I don't know if you heard about this too, but with the new PlayStation and Xbox coming out eventually, the next versions that come out, there was a report I read that even they don't want you to own those outright. They want you to put those on lease, to where you have the boxes to play the games, but you pay on them for years and years and years, and you don't.
That's why the price is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's $1,000. Oh yeah, can't afford $1,000 now. Okay, cool. Put you on a lease. We'll pay. You can take it home now. We'll put you on a payment plan for the next 6 years. You know.
I'm not doing that.
So, and then again, they don't want you to buy anything, which that's going for everything these days, and it's really becoming a problem. But on the bright side, we did get confirmation this week that GTA 7 is officially set to release in 2050. So those of you who are wondering, you can expect to see. Yeah, exactly. Can't wait. But anyhow, so that's kind of the hubbub going around with GTA. Obviously, I'm very much looking forward to the game. My most anticipated game. It's probably the biggest release of all time at this point, with the graphics, everything you could do inside the game, all this sort of stuff, customization.
I also read this thing where people were pissed that they didn't say anything about GTA Online, and that's because you only know GTA 5 because of GTA Online. GTA is a single player game.
Yeah,
it was. The online was added last year, or for the last installment, with GTA 5. So like, yeah, it was a single player game.
Now, I imagine there were specific missions for online only, correct?
What do you mean?
Like,
what 5?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember why the online even came about, but
we got online and did certain things like heists and stuff, but
but that's
like storyline.
That's because they built that online world like for that purpose, for people to play online. But originally, GTA was always been a single player fucking game.
Now, I think what it would probably be best if like they give you access so you can play with your friends and stuff online, do certain
that'll
things.
But that'll be added later. That'll probably be like after the game's launched and all that, and then they get the servers all set up for the online, because that's like going to release in itself.
No kidding. Especially with the size of this game. I'm sure it'll be massive.
When they announce that they're going to do the online for it, it's going to be big fucking news. So
And it's going to, again, if this game is going to last another 10, 13 years like the last one did, you're going to get all that. Give it time. It launches, it's more about just launching the base game and the extra stuff that's in it. And yeah, just give it time. I mean, it seems like everybody just wants, it's got to be my way now.
And with the GTA Plus subscription, like that's an online feature. So of course it's going to have fucking online.
Yeah.
Like,
I ain't worried about that. I mean, because they know a lot of people love playing online. I mean, I love the story. I'm a one-player kind of video gamer.
I will play the story to
but I also want to get online with you and like Aaron or Matt or whoever, and I want to play, cause some destruction and mayhem and have all the fun too. But you got to, if it don't come out at launch, got to just give it time. That's all there is to it. I would think they would probably try to shortly after, if not at
it'll be shortly after. They'll let the campaign run.
Yeah, but like heists and stuff or extra stuff that you can do, that may come in time, but just at least having the option to get in the game and do stuff like play games or go golf or fishing or hunting or that stuff, I would think would be easy to just say, okay, get online and do it, but time will tell. So you go buy the Ultimate Edition, I guess, the whole thing.
Probably.
Yeah, I probably
I
will
probably
too.
will.
I mean, I don't.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. I probably will.
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't pre-ordered yet, but I'd say probably by October I'll have it pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Give me some
Yeah.
time to maybe hear more info if anything else comes out or whatever. I'm still wanting to see some gameplay footage, which there's a lot of fake AI stuff going around right now. But I'm hoping within the next few weeks or whatever, maybe they'll give us some actual gameplay footage. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got anything else for the show, or you want to wrap it up? Because I think
No,
everybody else already left us. So.
Other than like,
Yeah.
GTA being something that I'm looking forward to, and then this
Wolverine.
football season, Wolverine.
Oh, I know you like Call of Duty, so there's stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming up this fall.
Yeah.
And, movies at the end of in December, and
Yep.
some good stuff coming. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about here on the channel. We'll have more shows coming to you soon. But like I said earlier on, if you didn't catch it, if you're still here, thank you, by the way, for sticking through with us if you are. But if not, just so you know that we are not going to have a show next week because we're going to be off for the 4th of July holiday. I'm traveling. I'm sure you guys have got plans for the holiday event or whatever stuff too. So all that sort of good jazz. So we want to wish you guys a happy 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday to America. Obviously, America. Got to go out and enjoy your fireworks, eat you some hot dogs and burgers, and wave your flags, do all that sort of good jazz. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks' time for episode number 97, if that works for you guys. And we'll work things out there. And we'll have a good show again. And hopefully we'll probably have plenty to talk about. So we'll have 2 weeks off of stuff. So be some good stuff. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to get out of here. If you're following us on YouTube, Rumble, whatever, if you're not, why aren't you? I mean, come on, that's the best thing to do in town these days. Got to follow us. Also, comment below, share, like, all this sort of good stuff. Don't forget to follow us on our X accounts and stuff like that at the bottom of your screen or in the description box below. We greatly appreciate your viewership and all that you guys do for us here. So thank you very much. Help us grow the channel as we move forward here. So, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We're going to talk to you guys in 2 weeks' time. And until then, as always, as I say at the end of the show, take care and God bless you guys. Later.
Nate.
Later.
Welcome to the